Hey y'all, good morning. What do you say, me and you? We try to catch us some catfish today, and it just so happens I pulled into this creek here and I am seeing a bunch of stuff right here on the graph. So I have dropped anchor. We're gonna fish kind of tucked inside this creek channel today because the wind is supposed to really be ripping here in a little while. So we're gonna try to hide from it, and the way it's blowing, I think we're gonna be shielded right here by this kind of hillside. So let's drop us some baits down right quick before them fish take off. I've got a gizzard shad laid out. We're gonna do a head and a chunk, and we're gonna run some light tackle setups today. I've been really into the light tackle, man. I've been having a lot of fun. So if we catch some small fish, they're gonna feel bigger. If we catch some big fish, y'all better clear your schedule. It's gonna take a while to land them, and it's gonna be a blast to do it while we're reeling them in. So I'm just gonna trim these fins off here. I'm taking these pliers, getting them off there. I'll show you the rigs and setup here, and we're gonna get to it today, folks. We're gonna have us some fun. So this setup, it's a Carolina rig, just downsized with the lighter tackle. So this is a #1 size shiner hook, very thin wire, very small hook, 15-pound fluorocarbon leader, swivel. I've got 15-pound braid, and I got a little 2-ounce egg sinker up there. Actually, let's do the body section on this side that's closest to our anchor rope. We may have to come off anchor today if we hook into something really big, just to make sure we don't get any anchor rope mishaps. That happens sometimes when you're fishing this close, your line's this close to an anchor rope. But we'll put our head bait on the opposite side of the kayak from the anchor. That way there's a little bit more distance, and that head bait is, I mean, a big fish could hit any cut of bait, but let's be real, most of my biggest fish historically have come on the head bait. So I've just got a ton more confidence in the head bait. But this rig on this rod is going to be the exact same. Now our rods and reels, I've got these ugly stick inshore rods. They are much lighter action than my normal catfish rods that I normally use, my signature series rods. And then I've got Daiwa BG 4000 size reels here, which I don't really need the 4000 size reel. I could get by with smaller reels for what we're doing, but I had them, and so no sense in buying new reels for this when I already have these perfectly functional reels here. So anyway, down that head bait goes. We're 42 feet deep. I'll show you again here on the graph in just a second once I get set up. But we're gonna have these baits just off the bottom. So 42 feet deep, they're gonna be down there, say 40 feet deep. We're gonna be fishing close to the bottom. And when I first come in this creek, that's what I was seeing, some fish, and there's still a few marks around right there. But I was seeing them right there off the bottom. So here we are in this creek. I'm in kind of the old creek channel here. There's a point right up here that runs off. And you look back here, I don't know if you can see that far away. I can't zoom on this camera. Right there's one. You got all these birds though. Tons of bird life in this creek right now. There was some more out here at the end. There's some over there. But these birds, they migrate through East Tennessee in the winter months, and they are great indicators of where bait is at, where shad is at, because that's what they're feeding on. You'll see them flying around in the sky. Sometimes they'll be sitting on the water like some of them are, but then they'll be flying around and swooping down and hitting bait that's up close to the surface. So when you see those birds in a particular creek, you know there's a lot of bait in there. And if there's a lot of bait in there, well, there's probably gonna be some catfish either in the creek or at least working in and out of it, feeding from time to time. So we're gonna put in a little time here this morning. I'm probably gonna fish 2 or 3 hours today, just because the wind is supposed to really kick up. It's supposed to be 30-mile-an-hour gusts, like late morning through the afternoon. So right now it's blowing a little bit, but it's fine. And I looked on the wind finder app, and it's supposed to be blowing from this direction. So we should be shielded from it here, but wind finder, it's hit or miss on its accuracy. Let's be real, it ain't always up to snuff, if you know what I mean. So anyway, we're gonna try to fish for 2 or 3 hours, bust some fish, if we're lucky, maybe bust a monster, and then get off the water before the super windy conditions work through today. So here's what I think I'm gonna do. I think I'm just gonna put y'all in the chest, and we're gonna go unedited today. We're gonna have like a real fishing trip here. You're gonna see everything from right now when we're dropping baits until I roll out of here. About the only thing you didn't see was me launching the kayak, pedaling across the channel and dropping anchor, which my anchor, I showed it on the last video there. It's just a dumbbell, just a dumbbell like you probably got in your garage. I got a deck cleat here that I have zip tied to this kayak, and I've got my rope on a extension cord holder with a little piece of pool noodle float there zip tied to it. That way, if we do hook into a big fish today on this light tackle, we can quickly undo from the anchor, just throw it off. That float will float the rope and the rope holder there, and we can go fight the fish and then come back to it. I don't like doing that. I would rather stay on anchor, because oftentimes when you get fish working through, they're not alone. They'll be in a school, or I call them a pack, like there'll be a few fish, you know. So if you let one fish drag you way off the spot and he has some friends coming behind him, well, that may have been fish you could have caught. But with us using the light tackle today, the really light line, any friction on that anchor rope, it could be disaster. So it's better to just maybe sacrifice not getting a double and have a better chance at landing the big fish that we hook. So anyway, we out here, y'all. I'm in my Hobie Lynx. This is kind of my paddle board style hull kayak. It's really become my favorite platform to fish off of, both in freshwater, and of course I've taken it down to the saltwater now the last 2 years. Love it in that condition just because of its ability to shed water. Like there's no, it's literally a paddle board with a seat and a pedal drive here. There's no internal storage, no compartments, nowhere for water to get in. It's just a foam wrapped in a thin layer of plastic. So it's really lightweight and it's virtually unsinkable. And it's pretty stable too. I mean, it'll give with you, but it's a stable platform. I can stand up, throw a cast net, stand up and pee, land big fish, whatever I got to do, I can do it. But I've really been into this platform, and I'd said it right after I got this thing and started fishing out of it. We just had a little tap right there on our body section. There's some more. Look at all them right there. I don't know if them are cats or not, but there's some fish down there on the bottom. But after I got this kayak, I realized that I couldn't easily fish how I have historically fished in this thing. And what I mean by that is what I have done with my other kayaks in the past is I have made the kayak adapt to my fishing style. Meaning I've used heavy tackle rods, heavy line, bigger, thicker wire hooks, and I've got my drag on the reel locked down, which you kind of have to have. You know, if you're gonna use them bigger, thicker wire hooks in a kayak, you need that drag kind of locked down to get the fish to be able to set the hook on itself when you're fishing out of a platform that's going to give. When the rod goes down, like the kayak starts to lean, it takes pressure off the fish. When I lean over to grab the rod, I take pressure off the fish. So I try to, do everything I can, having them rod holders bolted on and the drags locked down to be able to get that hook to penetrate past the barb with everything else working against me, right? So in order to do that, in other kayaks, I have had to bolt rod holders in through the hull. And when I got this kayak, you can't drill into this, right? So you're pretty much limited to these plastic kind of molded in gear track style rod holders. And you got to be careful with those if you've got heavy gear and your drag's locked down, because they can break, they can flex, you can have the whole rod holder, everything just get ripped off. So you got to be real careful with them. And so one of the things I've tried to do in the past year is to, instead of making this platform adapt to my style of fishing, maybe try, since I like fishing out of this thing so much, it's so much fun, try to adapt my fishing style to what can be done in this platform. And so that's kind of led me down the lighter tackle catfishing rabbit hole, if you will. And once I started doing it, started using the light tackle, I really got into it. And I've had a lot of fun with it. And I still do worry about possibly hooking into that triple-digit 100-pound class fish, the fish of a lifetime, and doing it on a thin wire hook and 15-pound test. Like, I don't know that we're going to have a successful outcome if that happens, but we'll have a damn good time trying. So I don't know. I've just been into it, and using the lighter tackle and thinner wire hooks, you still get these massive takedowns, but with the drags being loose and the rods being a little bit more flimsy, it doesn't put as much stress on the rod holders. So I don't have the fear of the rod holder, everything just vanishing off the side of the kayak on a big takedown. Like we're not gonna have that issue. And so it allows me to be able to still do the type of fishing I like to do. I like to suspend fish like we're setting up today. It's my favorite way to fish. But I just have to modify. I have to modify how I've historically done things a little bit to be able to do it on this platform. So that's what we out here doing today. We got this rod right here getting one of the little tap. We got one just like that. How long's the camera been going now? A few minutes? Well, I jinxed it when I said that. I just pulled it out of his mouth. Let's send it back down. That bait's still perfect. Look at all this bait that's worked through on the bottom here. We were 42 feet. That bait's up to about 30 feet. That's a big school of shad. Big school of shad right there. There ought to be some cats working in and around that. Hold on, let me get my sinker got to the bottom before the bait did. That happens sometimes. Oh, look right here. Let me get this and reset. We got the head bait going down now. Oh, he's gonna take some line. He's gonna take some line. Boy, look at this. Oh, that one's going down too. We're doubled. We're a few minutes in, we're doubled. Thankfully, he's running out. I'm gonna stay on anchor. He's running out that way. Oh my gosh, he just come off too. Are you doo-dooing me right now? He just come off too. We're 0 for 2. Lord. All right, let's send it back down. We still got our other one on over here. Let's see if we can not go 0 for 3. I want to drop this one back down though before we pick up on the other one. Look at it. It's just sitting there. That rod tip's just sitting there in the water, man. Okay. Put that one back and pick this one up. Listen, y'all reel this one in. I'm 0 for 2 here to start. I need you all to go ahead and handle this one. I don't want to botch another one here on an unedited video. I'll never hear the end of it. Y'all will be making fun of me for weeks. You really gonna make fun of me when I tell you. I done told my channel members this. I done something, y'all. I'm gonna tell you a story. We're gonna talk about some life stories today. I'm gonna tell you something y'all are gonna make fun of me over. Yeah, we got a dink here, a little eater. Look at all them marks right there though, man. The school of shad, it's not under us right now, but all them fish, they're working them shad, man. I don't know what they all are. They might not all be cats. Could be drum or striper or bass, anything, but some of them are obviously cats because we got one right here. I'll take that hook back, sir. I'm gonna take that bait back too. We're gonna drop it, same bait back down. It's just been a few minutes, so it ought to be still good, even though it's been bit a couple times. Still hooked good and everything. Let's drop it straight back down. Boy, I tell you, man, I knew when I come into this creek and I saw this bird activity, I knew we were around some bait. I knew that for sure. So now it's just a matter of, if we got a fit, look right here. I just dropped that thing down. Oh, he come off. Well, hellfire. Let me just reel it on up and make sure our bait ain't foul hooked. We got a scale on the hook point that time. How the hell did that happen? Oh, that ain't shad scales, folks. That ain't shad scales. Them are bigger and harder. I wonder, you know what? I bet when we were dropping this thing down, that's crazy. I think when we were dropping this thing down, I probably hit a fish. And instead of it biting the line, it was probably around our line. We probably hit the damn thing. And when I went to set the hook, we set it in its side and knocked them scales off. I bet I damn near snagged one of them things, whatever it was. Whatever it was wasn't a cat, though, because it had scales. Could have been might have been a drum or bass or something. Boy, y'all, hey, let me fist pump it anyway, by gosh. We're off to a hell of a start here, man. I hope the action continues like this. I've had some crappy fishing, and I don't mean crappy as in like crappie or that kind of crappy. I mean just lousy fishing. Really, the whole month of December was bad for me. Thank God we're in January now, a new month. New year, new me. Here we go. Head bait. Boy, he feels good. Oh, he feels good. He's going the wrong way, though. He's going back there toward the anchor. Don't go that way, fish. Come out the other way. Be good to me now. All right, he's coming back this way. Boy. He's coming up now, but boy, when I first picked up on him there, he felt pretty daggone good. Light tackle, man, it don't take a lot to have a good time. Oh, doubled. Oh, he's full. Let's get this one up here. That's a little bigger than the last one. Let's set him there and grab this other rod. Y'all unhook that other fish over there for me, would you? Get that other one for me. We'll get that thing rebaited and get it back down there. He might have some more friends. I know he's got more friends. I see him on the screen. Boy, we're on them, man. We're on them. This is multiple bites here. Just boom, boom, boom. Boy, I need a day like this, man. I need a day where it's just constant action. Boost a boy's confidence. So I tell you, December was a lousy, one of the worst months of fishing I've had that I can remember. I was like, thank goodness we're in January now. New month, new year. New year, new me is all the kids say. I ain't trying to change, but I am trying to change my luck. All right, let's get hold of this in here. I got my net if we hook into a monster. All right, sir. Nice little chunky eater there. Let's get this down. I'm going to just, to save on time, and this bait, I mean, look, all the innards are still in there in it. We're just going to reuse it. I threw it the wrong way over my rod. Y'all could have had that thing rebaited for me if you'd let me just reel in and land the other one over here. I need a team effort out of y'all today. If you're gonna be my fishing partners on this, I need you all to participate. Grab a fishing pole, bait a hook. It'd be real nice if you'd go catch a bait for me. That'd save me a lot of time. We'd have a lot more time to catfish if you all would just bring the bait with you. That was part of my malfunction there in the month of December. I had a hard time consistently finding bait. All right, fish. Let's calm it down now. You're whooped. You're whooped. You're caught. There we go. Okay. He gone. He's got the head bait ripped off, so let's set that there. I'm gonna get my towel out here and dry my hands off. Okay, let's grab us another shad. I got plenty. That's something else I gotta tell you all about too. My channel members have done seen it, but I gotta tell you all about what I've built, because I have made me something that's gonna be make catching bait a lot easier. We got a lot to talk about today. That's the point I'm getting at here. It's been a while since I've done a unedited video like this where we can actually talk and elaborate on stuff and go into detail. So we got a lot to discuss. I gotta tell you about the, oh goodness gracious, that rod's just buried. Just sitting there buried in the water as I'm about to get baited. Oh, he's pulling. That is a slow pull. That feels like a solid fish, folks. He's not even spooked. He's not running hard. He's about to. He's just going where he wants to go. I don't even know that he knows he's hooked. Boy, we need to get another bait down on the other rod right there. We're on them, man. We're on them. Let's try to make some progress on this one, get him up here. And before we land him, we'll bait our other hook, because we don't have a bait in the water right now. Goodness gracious. Oh man, y'all. We're tearing them up. This is several fish right here to start. Oh, buddy. Okay, this one's the biggest one so far. We're definitely going in the right direction here. Oh, he's all wrapped up in that line. He's going to take off here in a second. He's constricted. He's rolled in it. When he comes free, he's going to take, there he goes. There he goes. I knew he was going to take off. I knew that was about to happen. I knew it was. Okay. Now he's going to run. He rolled in that line and it wrapped around him and got tight. And for some reason, catfish, man, when they feel like if you constrict them somehow, if they feel pressure wrapped around them like a hug, they just stop. They'll quit. That one there, he's going to fight now. That's why he was barely swimming off. He was just being all relaxed. Yeah, I want to get him up here and then bait this other hook real fast. That one right there is going to get a little front camera time in a minute. Okay, I want to set him there a second. We're going to risk, don't swim in that anchor rope, fish. Y'all tell him for me. I don't know if he speaks my poor English or not, but I hope he understands. Don't swim in the anchor rope while I lower this other bait down. I want to get another one down there, man. We're increasing the size of the catch. We're on a good bite, man. It's an active morning. Whatever this weather system we got coming in, it's bringing this high wind today. It seems like these fish are feeding up ahead of it. Okay, let's get him over. I'm gonna net this, and I don't want to chance it on the lighter line and thinner hook. Okay, yes. Yes, buddy. Okay. Look at that, man. That's a good one. He's bigger than I thought. I got to look at him there. I knew he was a good fish, but I mean, he's bigger than I thought he was when I first got a glance at him. Oh, buddy, where's he hooked at? Where's it? Oh, there it is. It's in the bottom of the lip. Okay. Get that leaf off your face there, fish. We're gonna do picture time. Let me set y'all up here. If I got snot dripping out my nose, y'all, I apologize. It's still a little chilly out today. Okay. Nice fun sizer. And here goes our other rod. Oh man, we gotta let you go, fish. One of your friends is stealing your thunder over here. Okay. This is gonna be a fish. Oh, that one just come free. I think he just stole our bait. I think he stole our bait. No, it's still on there. Well, that fish just provided a distraction, so I'd let his friend go. That's what it was. Boy, are we on them right now or what, man? I mean, I come out here, I looked at the wind forecast and how it was supposed to blow, the direction. And I thought, okay, this is perfect. I'll just come inside this creek here. But I mean, as soon as I got in the creek, I started seeing all the birds and then on the graph there, and I'm like, okay. But I had no idea we were in for this. So let's just rehook that and send it back down. All right, man. Well, like I was saying, December was a lousy month, but January business was picked up. I just couldn't get it going in in December. I just, one, it was a real windy month. I mean, like way more windy than usual in my area. And so I lost a lot of days for that. And then, we had that rod get hit. Then I had trouble getting bait. So the days that I could get out, I struggled to get bait. And then oftentimes when I would get bait, the wind would knock me out again, and then I wouldn't be able to go. And so, and when the stars would align and I'd have bait and decent weather, I just couldn't do worth a crap. Either get skunked or catch 2 or 3 small fish, not really video worthy. So it was just, for regular viewers, I had a little break there in the videos over the holidays. But hopefully we've got a stretch of decent weather here that we're on right now. I mean, it's a cloudy day and we got this high wind coming, but temperature-wise, what's happening here? Got him. Nope, we don't. Let me send it right back down. That wasn't acting like a big fish. I think it was probably a small one just kind of tugging on that bait, probably didn't have the hook. But anyway, we got a stretch here of decent temperatures this week. And so today, I know the wind's gonna knock me out in a little while. But tomorrow and the next day is looking good. Temperatures in the 50s and calm winds. So I went out, I'm gonna catch a fish right now. No, I ain't. Let's drop it back down. I went out yesterday, loaded us up on bait. I got us some gizzard shad. I also caught 2 crappie, which we're not gonna use those today. I wanna save them because I think I'm gonna make a trip down to Chattanooga, maybe fish on nickajack either tomorrow or the next day. I've reached out to my buddy Daniel there at Catfish Sumo, see if he wants to join me. And I'd like to use those crappie there when I go. So probably won't use those today, but we got plenty of shad. And they're good and fresh, caught them yesterday. So yeah, I'm gonna try to get while the getting's good before it'll inevitably turn cold again. I mean, this is East Tennessee weather, man. December was all over the place. Not only did we have the high winds, but we had some frigid temperatures, like days where highs were in the 30s. Then over Christmas, we had highs in the 70s. And then like 2 or 3 days after Christmas, we had highs in the 30s again. I mean, it's just all over the place. And usually winter is like that for us. They say in Tennessee, if you don't like the weather, just wait a minute, it'll change. This fish he's gonna change his mind when I reel him in. He's gonna wish he hadn't bit that bait. But yeah, I'm gonna try to make the most of it here this week while we've got the temperatures is most important to me. I can find places to hide out of the wind like we're going to do today here in this creek channel. With, I can look and see which direction it's blowing and maybe pick out some spots to hide from it. But I don't like the cold. I don't like the cold one bit. This fish don't like having a hook in his jaw. So let's get it out of him here. What about you, fish? Do you like the cold? He don't care. Fish are cold-blooded. It don't make no difference to them. They'll adapt. A warm-blooded person like me don't like cold. I'm warm-blooded fish. That means I get the chills. And being in a kayak, I can't hardly hide from the wind. Or hide from the cold, I mean. I can hide from the wind, but I can't hide from the cold. I don't have any desire to have another boat. I've had boats in the past, and I really genuinely enjoy fishing out of a kayak, especially the smaller the kayak, the better. That's why I love this Hobie Lynx so much. It's a great platform, a lot of fun. But in the winter months, I will admit, I see fellas on social media, they're in their big boats with the enclosures and these propane heaters, all warm and toasty while they're out there in frigid temperatures catching fish. I will admit, I get a little envious every winter. I just don't do well in the cold. I never have. I don't like it. I don't like being cold. I'd like to leave here in about late October, early November, go to Florida, and stay down there till spring when it warms up here. That would be the ideal situation. And it's a free country. A man can do what he wants to. So I know what you're saying. Well, Justin, just do it. But I'm married now. I got a wife, and she's got a job here and can't just take off. So we got to make some compromises. I went down there for 2 weeks in November. I'm going to go back. Well, at least the plan is I want to go back at some point, either this month, January, or maybe next month, February, for another week or so, maybe 7 to 10 days, that range. But what I want to do, I want to go down there when we're having like a forecasted really cold stretch here. Like if we're going to have like a whole week where it's going to be highs in the 30s or something like that. And look at the forecast for down there and make sure it ain't going to be raining or super windy and stuff like that. Ideally, you'd have a terrible forecast here and a good forecast there. That would be the time to go. That's when I want to plan it. Now, I do have to work around. We're going to wrestling. WWE, well, the NXT, the developmental part of WWE, they're coming to Knoxville at the end of January here. So we're going to go. I got tickets. We're going to go to that. So I got to work around that too. But beyond that, that's the only thing on my agenda coming up. So the rest of the time's clear to go. I'm just waiting on the right opportunity. We've gotten through the holidays now, all the family stuff. So just now a matter of getting the right time to go. We've got another fish working. He's tugging on it a little bit. Well, I think, if I ain't mistaken, that's our original body section that we've continued to use on that one. The innards are still in it. Gut pocket's still in. But we'll give a few more minutes and I'm going to put on that other piece of shad there that's in the floor. And we'll switch that bait out. I'm going to be sniffing a little bit, y'all. My nose running. We've had all this weather changes. And it's a little, even though it's, I don't know if you call it warmer today, but less cold right now. But with it being cloudy and stuff, it's still a little, it's chillier than I'd like it to be. I'm a pansy in the cold, man. If it's under 50, I'm not happy with it. But while we got a break and not reeling in fish, we'll go into some other life stuff here I got to tell you about. Don't let me forget to tell you the stupid thing. Well, I don't know it's going to end up being stupid, but boy, it sure seemed stupid at the time. And I already told my channel members that story, but I'm going to tell you all. And then I got to tell you too, I want to tell you about the next thing, because y'all are here for fishing mostly. Some of yous actually like me and enjoy hearing about life stuff, but a lot of yous are here for fishing. So let me tell you about what I built. Now, my channel members, they've already seen this. I do extra videos, kind of behind the scenes stuff for my channel members. And I've already showed them this, but I haven't filmed a regular fishing video with it yet. I've only used it for getting bait, which is how I got our shad there yesterday. But what I've done, I've built me a portable box. Let me tell you kind of the backstory on this first. And then I'll describe to you what I've built. You should be able to get a visual in your mind of how I've built this thing, even without actually seeing it. But you will be seeing it in future videos and stuff when I use it. I just didn't need it today. That's why it's not out here. But with my Hobie Lynx here, this kayak, very lightweight. The hull's 47 pounds with the seat and the pedals. It's 65 if memory serves me, so 65 pounds. Very lightweight, and so I don't trailer this thing. I put it in the back of the truck, unload it on either a boat ramp or side of the road, wherever I'm putting in at, I can just drop it off the truck, slide it in the water. Don't need a trailer because it's so lightweight. I want to keep it lightweight. I want to keep it simple. I want to have just a basic grab-and-go rig that I can load and unload very quickly and keep it lightweight, right? So out here today, very simple. We got our pedals, 2 rod holders. I got my bait cooler behind us. That's it, 2 rods. But while that's good most of the time, there are other times when I need other tools. One of those tools is a motor. So I bought them little cheap water snake motors. And it's 24-pound thrust, and it was small enough to go down in the pedal drive slot. I took it to the ocean with me when I went there in November. And I wanted that for 2 reasons. I wanted it for emergency purposes. If I had a malfunction with my pedal drive, and maybe I had hooked up to a big fish or some big shark, and I was way out in the ocean, and you have a malfunction with your pedal drive, yes, I have the paddle, but you get out there in the wind and the current, and this thing, it paddles like a paddleboard. I just felt it was kind of an insurance policy to have a small motor to take with me, right? The other thing I wanted out of that motor was when I'm out there in the ocean and I'm doing some drift fishing, I wanted to be able to save energy, not fight the current the whole time. So I would use the motor up into the current, and then drift back. So I got that little water snake motor. It weighs like 6 pounds. And it worked well when it worked. But like the 4th time I used it down there, it malfunctioned. The forward, it has, the way the motor is, it's got 2 speeds. Slow and slower is what I say because it's so damn small. But it's got the 2 speeds, but it's got forward and reverse. Well, forward stopped working. Something hit that rod. Forward stopped working, but reverse would still work. And so I took the top off. I thought, man, I've got damn salt water in there. We've got corrosion. Well, I took the top off. Everything looked good. And when I took the top off, he hit it again. We're going to change that bait out here in a second if he don't end up getting it. But when I took the top off, I guess I jiggled the wires a little bit. And then the forward started working in the slow speed. It wouldn't work in high speed, but it worked in slow. And I was like, you know what? I think that's probably a switch. I think I got a bad switch on that motor. So I bought one off Amazon. It was 10 bucks. And I bought a waterproof switch. The switches that come with it weren't waterproof, which is mind-boggling. I don't know how something can be saltwater rated but not have waterproof switches. So when I took that switch off, put the new one on, now the motor works. And once I examined the old switch, I had gotten salt water in there and corroded it. So anyway, now that motor's fixed. And I'm like, you know, I really liked that thing when it functioned. But I was like, I want to have the opportunity to adjust the speed on it. Not just have the 2-speed, because those 2 speeds in calm water, no current, on the links here, speed 1 would move me about 2.5 miles an hour, and speed 2 was right at 4 miles an hour. So 2.5 miles an hour is perfect if I'm trolling for skipjack. But in 4 miles an hour, the top speed on it is fine if I'm doing like I wanted to do, like going up into the current and drifting back and stuff. But if I wanted to take it out catfishing and troll, let's say, 0.5 mile an hour, 0.3 to 0.7, 0.8, in that range, well, I couldn't do that. So I wanted to put like a variable speed switch on it. And I got to looking around and I found a company called FPV. They take them water snake motors and they put the variable speed switch on there. And they change out the other switches too to make them waterproof. He wasn't acting big and he let it go. Let's switch out our baits right fast. Let's do that. Let me grab another shad out of here. We'll go ahead and switch that head bait out too while I finish telling you about the motor. So anyway, this company called FPV, they take them water snake motors and they modify them. They add on your switch or your variable speed control, and they change out the switches, make them waterproof. And so I was looking around at it, and over the holidays, they had a sale going on. So I bought one because I thought, as cheap as they are, I'll just buy a second motor. That way, when I go on these trips and stuff, if one motor craps out again, I'll have a backup, right? Because, you know, down there in Florida, once that other motor crapped out, like I didn't have access to it for the rest of the trip. So anyway, I bought that other motor. So I headed out there and I used it. And I liked it. And then I start struggling on bait. And I'm like, boy, I sure would like to have my live scope out here, because I had my live scope on my Hobie Pro Angler after I first got it. Lord, now I've dropped that dang head down in the pedal slot there. There we go. I had that live scope on my Hobie Pro Angler for, I don't know, a year or two, I guess. And then last year I had taken it off because I just wasn't using it. That last fish ripped this bait off. We got robbed down there. But I just wasn't using live scope like it was intended to be used. So I took it off, you know, because it was a lot of weight and a lot of hassle and stuff. But when I started struggling to catch bait, I was like, man, I sure would like to have this thing, have access to the live scope again. And I'd like to try it out on this kayak. So what I done, I built me a box. I got one of them Plano field boxes, the Magnum field box. And I put my battery for that little water snake motor. I got a 50 amp hour lithium, which is fairly lightweight, weighs 12 pounds. I put it in the box. I put my variable speed control thing for the motor. It goes in the box. the live scope, wires, and the processing, the black box they call it, all that goes in there. I mounted the screen for the live scope on top of the box, and then I just put the transducer over the side of the kayak here when I'm going to use it. So like yesterday, I took it out, and that's how I got the shad. The shad were a little bit deeper, but I was able to find them on the live scope and just throw the net and get them. But here's what I wanted out of that box. So I wanted it to be portable. So on days where I want the live scope and the motor, I can use it. If it's a day where maybe I don't need live scope, maybe I'm going catfishing and I'm making a long run in this kayak and it's farther than I want to pedal, then I can just pop the battery out of that box along with the motor and bring just the motor. Or a day like today, where I'm making a run from the launch, it's a mile or so, less than a mile, and I don't want to fool with the live scope or the motor and all the extra hassle and weight, well, then I don't have to have anything. It's because it's portable, nothing's permanently mounted to the kayak. So everything, it's kind of modular. You know, I can have it all, I can have part of it, or I can have nothing. And because it's on a box, like if I am in my other kayak, my Hobie Pro Angler, and I want the live scope that day, well, I can just take it and put it on there. So it kind of gives me options. You know, it keeps this platform super simple, just lightweight, stripped down, basic grab and go kayak, but it gives me the option when I need those other tools or want to use those other tools, I can. And so that's what I've done, y'all. That was kind of my Christmas present to myself. I bought the FPV version of the water snake, which it was on sale. It was $200. I forget the exact price, but the motor, shipping, and tax, everything, it was under $300. Like they're very cheap motors. The reviews are awful, which is another reason why I kind of wanted a second one just to have a backup, because people have problems with them. That company, the FPV company, I think they're buying them in bulk, because I've seen those same motors on like Alibaba and those discount Chinese, you know what I'm talking about. Like, what are they called? Like the Chinese version of Amazon, basically. You get all the cheap stuff. Like, I've seen those same motors on there, and you can buy like 10 of them for $50-something each. So I bet you that FPV company, they probably buy them things in bulk, get them for a little bit of nothing, modify them, and then triple or quadruple the price. It's all profit for them. But you know, the good thing about paying a little more from that company is you don't have to modify it yourself. And whoever is working on it over, they've already tested the motor, make sure it works right out the box, you know. So there's that. We switched out that bait and we're already getting bit again. Oh, he was just swimming off with it though. He didn't have it. Tell these fish, man, I'm ready to catch some more. We've had a little lull here. I'm still seeing a few things there on the graph, but it seems like most of the fish that were here they moved on. They got tired of you, I reckon. They said hell with you. They said if you ain't going to refresh that bait very often, they'll just move on. They got plenty of bait in here they can go eat. They ain't going to deal with your crap. Yeah, so anyway, y'all, now I've got multiple options to do on this kayak. And I'll tell you something else, too, about these motors. And the culture of kayak fishing today, everybody's got motors on their kayaks anymore, man. Everybody. But most of the motors that are available are motors made for boats. Minn Kota, they've got their kayak motor, Motor Guide, when they were in business, which is what I still have on my Hobie Pro Angler, I got that Motor Guide XI3, their kayak version of the motor. It's the same damn motor that you put on a boat. It just has the word kayak stamped on it. And it's got a little bit shorter shaft. That's the only change. Like, it's still this big, heavy motor. But I was doing the math on it. Because these water snake motors, you know, even getting the one there from FPV with the modifications and stuff, under $300, like tax, shipping, out the door, right? I was doing the math on it. So my Motor Guide XI3 on my Hobie Pro Angler, I think I first got it in, it was either 2020 or 2021. I can't remember exactly. So, you know, we're 2026 now, so 5 to 6 years I've been running that Motor Guide XI3. Now, initially, when I first got it, I don't remember the exact price, but I think it was around $1,300. Maybe it was like $12.99 or $13.99. It was somewhere around there, so let's call it $1,300, okay? That was the initial motor. Well, hold on, we got a fish. We got a fish that don't want us doing arithmetic. Oh, yeah, nope. Boy, we've got some fish tugging on our baits that ain't getting the hooks. You tell them ain't nobody got time for that now. They need to commit to them things. So anyway, let's just say we got $1,300 initially invested in that motor. Well, I think maybe it was a year at the most. The GPS on that motor went out. What controls the spot lock and the course heading, stuff like that, it went out. I had to buy a new one. So that was $400 and something. So now my total cost of that motor is up to $1,700, let's say. Well, it was either last year or the year before. Time's gotten away from me. But I had another malfunction with it. The motor got water inside there. I guess the seal went bad or something, got a bunch of water in there. And, you know, you can buy the parts and change all that out, but people that I've known who have done that usually end up having problems again, as this fish is going to have a problem if he didn't get it. He was acting like a small fish right away. That rod tip was doing that. He's down there just rolling. We got some little dinkity doodahs down there chewing up our baits, folks. But I've known people, my friend Ryan there, Ryan Bortz, he has rebuilt some motors, but they inevitably have problems again. They just, once that seal gets broke and you get a bunch of water in there, it's hard to ever get it back good as new again, right? And me doing this YouTube crap you better have it this time, fish. I think he's got it this time for real. He does. Okay. I jerked his jaw that time. Did you see it? These shiner hooks, they're not circle hooks. You know, I can set the hook on them things. Take my frustration of them other fish out on this one right here. This fish here, he's wishing his other friends had stolen that bait off the hook because they left it for him, and he's taking the fall for the crime they committed. It's another dink. All right, fish, come here. Let me get you going. Leave that bait on there too. We'll just drop it back down if it still looks good. On a head bait, old shad head. You want to open up? Well, open your mouth, sir. Sir. You dang old fish. He didn't want to open up. He don't want to be cooperative. We'd already have that hook out if you just open. Oh, there goes our head bait. Dadgummit, you done gone and done it this time, fish. Give me that. Give me that hook. Sir, open up. Sir. I can't get, there we go. We got one on this rod now. We got one on this rod. Finally got rid of the other one, and here goes this one. One of them's getting a free meal down there as that head bait makes its way back down. Doggone fish. Una momenta, folks. We're going to continue the story here about, we're going to do some arithmetic on how much this Motor Guide XI3 has cost me. Cost of ownership. That's another one here. It's all wrapped up in the line. I think he's knocked the bait off too. Yeah, we'll just get another shad out of there and rebait both hooks here in a second. Once we get this one going, at least this one here is going to act like he's going to open his mouth. It'd help if you'd calm down a second there, sir. Okay. Okay, yeah, these hooks, they're lighter wire. That last fish, you go trying to get too rough with it, you just bend the hook. Gotta be a little bit more mindful of that than you do with the thicker wire, heavier gauge hooks. Grab another one here. All these shad are pretty comparable in size, but they're good size for baits. I ain't got my cutting board today, so you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just using the dang kayak. Kayak is my cutting board. So, anyway, like I was saying, I've known other people that have tried to rebuild them motors. They never seem to last very long once they're rebuilt. And me doing this YouTube crap as a job, like I need functioning equipment. Like I need to be able to trust my equipment, especially if I'm traveling and things like that. Like I've got to be able to consistently make content. So I need to be able to trust the equipment I'm using. So I was like, I'm just going to buy, when I got to water intrusion, I was like, I'm just going to get me a new motor. But I'd already replaced the GPS in the other one. So I was like, I don't need another motor guide with the GPS. I can just get the regular version and save a few $100 and take the GPS off the other one. So that's what I done. But I think it was $799, like $800, let's say. So we were initially at $1,700 between the other motor and the GPS. Now we've added a second motor there. So now that's another $800. So that's $2,500. This Motor Guide XI3 has cost me. Now, it don't end there, because over the course of time that I've had that Motor Guide XI3, I have gone through, I can't know the exact number off the top of my head, but it's either been 3 or 4 remotes. Because the remotes on them motor guides are absolute garbage with a capital G. They are terrible. They're unreliable. They break. Usually at the worst time. I had one, I was in a bass tournament, and the damn thing went out on me. After that, I started carrying a spare at all times. But I've gone through 3 or 4 of those since I have had the thing. And those remotes are they're usually, depending on when you buy them, Amazon might have them for $99, or they might be like $119, depending on the time you had to buy one. But I've gone through 3 or 4, so there's another $300 to $400. So we were at 25, add 3 to 4 to that, and you want to throw in some tax and all that, you're somewhere around that initial $1,300 motor over the few years that I've had it, has now cost me $3,000. And I take it out, there's one trip there in December. Weather allowed me to get out, and I drove, I was going to fish in there about an hour from home. I get there, and I had another motor malfunction. Now, I couldn't fix it out there in the water. Now, eventually, it is working fine now. I undid everything from the battery. I repaired the remotes to the motor. Everything's functioning now. But it did cost me a trip because it had malfunctioned again. And I'm like, man, you know, in the 5 to 6 years I've had this thing, I'm at $3,000 and a ton of problems and headaches with this thing. And so you do the math on it, that's, let's say, $500 a year. You know, $500 to $600 a year, roughly, is the cost of ownership of having that Motor Guide XI3 trolling motor. And I'm like, I could buy 2 of them little water snake motors that are modified for me. Like, you know, I mean, I could get them water snake motors cheaper if I did the modifications myself. But I could have one of them companies like an FPV do it for me and buy 2 of those per year for the price that I'm spending on Motor Guide with all the problems. So I don't know how long them water snake motors are going to last. You know, it may crap out. I mean, that first one I took the ocean, it lasted 4 trips, but that was a saltwater problem in the switch. I'll be better prepared for that in the future. I'll put a cover. I'll put like a Ziploc bag, like one of them gallon-sized bags. When I go back to Florida, I'm going to put that over the head of the motor and rubber band it around so salt water can't splash up on there. But, I mean, if those things, if they will last me a year, it's going to come out cheaper than the motor. Now, granted, I won't have spot lock and course heading, you know, those other GPS functions. But, you know, for what I oftentimes need, and especially in this kayak, I mean, I can't put a big heavy motor on this thing anyway. And those things, those water snakes, they're 6 pounds. The motor itself, I mean, the battery weighs more than the motor. So anyway, I'm going to go with that for a little. But I've been frustrated with it. And I've had problems like, you know, I'm telling you now about the Motor Guide XI3, but prior to that, I had the Old Town Autopilot kayak, and it had that Minn Kota motor that comes with it. Well, I had 2 warranty claims in the first year. Day 1 I got that kayak, the GPS went out in it. They warranted it, sent me a new motor. A few months later, I don't know what it's called, but whatever steers it, the little motor in there that steers it, turns it side to side, it went out. Had to do another warranty claim. They fixed it. So 2 warranty claims on the Minn Kota inside of a year. Prior to that, I had that little Torpedo motor on my Hobie Outback. Thank goodness it had a 2-year warranty because I filed 4 warranty claims in 2 years. And after the warranty expired, it crapped out again. And it was going to cost like $700 to fix it. I said, hell no, I ain't doing that. I scrapped it. So 5 malfunctions in 2 years on it. Like every type of motor that I've had, I've had problems out of it. And I'm at a point where I'm like, man, I'm kind of sick of paying for all this motors and stuff. And I don't necessarily need it. You know, being in a kayak, I can function with pedals or paddle. Like I can catch fish without all that stuff. But it's nice to have, for the reasons I mentioned there, like wanting to have that motor for emergency purposes, working up against current. If I go fish a tournament somewhere, man, everybody I'm competing against has motors. So if you're out in rough conditions and real windy and stuff like that, like it's nice to have good tools. I mean, that's what these things are. Your graphs, your rod holders, your motors, these things you put on your boats and kayaks, they're tools. They help you do a job, which is catching fish, easier, right? Like you give a good carpenter a handsaw, some lumber and nails, he can go out and build you a porch. But you give him a power saw and a drill, he's going to build the same porch, but he's going to do it with a lot less energy, a lot easier, right? So the better tools you have, the easier the job is to get done. You still got to have the skills. You got to know where to fish at, where to put your baits, all that. But the better tools you have, the easier it is to accomplish what you need to accomplish. And so I want to have those options. For tournament purposes, for me doing this YouTube crap, like I want to have the best resources available to me that I can. But at the same time too, I'm kind of sick of dealing with all of the malfunctions, not only from the financial aspect of it, but just the time and mental energy it takes to either file warranty claims or source replacement parts or put the replacement parts on and wait on the shipping companies to get you the supplies you need. Like it's just, you know, it just becomes a hassle, really. So anyway, we're going to be trying out that water snake motor on this kayak periodically. So you will be seeing that set up. You'll probably be seeing the live scope on here at some point in time. It's not something I'm going to use all the time, but when I do make a bait run or have another need for it, I will have it. But I want to overall just keep this platform simple, like we have it set up today. 2 rod holders, pedals. I did put this little cheap Lowrance graph on last summer. I got it on sale there during I think it was the Father's Day sale Bass Pro had going. So I got it. And just so I could monitor depth and speed. And I bought a map card for it, so like when we're setting up on anchor spots, I can see where I am and everything. But, you know, otherwise, I just kind of want to keep it simple. And that's what we're going to do. But, and I don't think it's just me having all these motor problems. And it ain't isolated. I've talked a lot about Motor Guide's problems, but it ain't isolated them. I mean, everybody I know, whether it's Motor Guide, Minn Kota, Newport Vessels, Torpedo, you name the company, I could get online right now and find 25 people that's had problems with them. Like these companies, I think they make these products, and it's smart on their part, they make them to fail. But I think they're made to fail for the average fisherman within a few years. And the problem for somebody like me is I use these pieces. It's not like I'm hard on it. I'm not trying to break stuff. In fact, it's the opposite. I try to take care of my stuff because I don't want the hassle of having to fix or replace. But just the amount of time that I fish doing this YouTube channel, I end up burning through the usage of these products much quicker than, say, an average person who maybe fishes 2 or 3 days a month. So things for me, these products, if they are designed to fail, and I believe they are, I'm not going to get the average usage time as a regular person out of it. It's just going to fail much quicker for me. So I've been a little frustrated with it, but trying to work around it a little bit. I've just, maybe it's me, I don't know, maybe I'm just a jinx. Maybe I've just got mechanical problems. Hell, I bought that trailer for my Hobie Pro Angler kayak because it's heavy. Like if I ain't got a boat ramp, I don't use that kayak. But I got that new trailer there last year, and immediately I told you all this story, but if you're new to my channel, I was so stupid. I was pulling off my carport and wasn't paying attention and clipped my carport post with the fender of the trailer and crumpled the fender. So I had to have it replaced. Then after that, somehow or another, I forgot to plug my lights into the truck, the trailer light plug into the truck. I forgot to do that. I drug it down the road. I had to replace that. And then the last time I took the Hobie Pro Angler kayak out, I got back home, I was disconnected the trailer, and I went to undo my light plug, and it's got one of them 7-pin plugs that goes in. I ripped the whole end of it off, like taking it out of the truck, the whole end of it just ripped off. So I got to replace it. Man, everything I touch, man, everything mechanical that I touch is just, it's got a curse on it. Well, that's another perk of this kayak. Like when I use it, I don't have a trailer. It's just the back of the truck and I load it up. So it's one less thing to go wrong, not having a trailer. Don't have to worry about a bearing blowing out or a flat tire, or don't have to worry about parking when I'm staying at a hotel or something like that. You know, I can just pull in any parking space. So I want to fish out of this kayak more. Not just for those reasons, but also too because I just enjoy fishing out of it. As you've seen out here today, probably as I'm fighting fish, like we're all over the place. This thing, it's the whole design, it's like a leaf blowing in the wind on the water. Like it's just all over. It doesn't have any real resistance. So it makes it challenging to fish in windy conditions in this thing. But the plus side is when you hook into fish, especially big fish, you get towed all over very easily. I mean, it's fun. Like I really enjoy catching big fish in this thing. Of all the kayaks I've had, and I've had a bunch through the years, this has been my favorite to catch fish out of. It's not the most functional, especially in all weather conditions. I've had to modify how I fish here for catfish with this kayak. You know, there's concessions that have to be made. There's limitations to it. But boy, I really like it. Man, I've really had fun in this thing. So I want to do more of it. I want to do more catfishing in this. I want to, you know, incorporate my other fishing, which I pretty much have. My ultralight trips are all done in this kayak now. My saltwater trips, I have no desire to take any other kayak down there. Like I really like this. So I've got to be able to have another kayak for the tournaments. Could I fish a tournament off of this? I could. Am I gonna have the best chance of competing and winning, cashing a check in the tournament? Probably not. I mean, just measuring fish alone is going to be, because really, when you look at the floor space here, got the rod holders, and you know I've got my graph mounted to the cup holder over here, which I keep some tools in. On this side, I use like my actual cup holder and my phone holder, so I couldn't lay my measuring board here for measuring the fish for the tournament. The only place I could put it would be up here behind the pedals, like in that area there, between the pedals and my DIY camera mount there. I could probably lay it across there. So it's doable, but you know, again, I feel like I'm kind of limited to the light tackle in here. I've used the heavy tackle stuff dragging, but I can only drag one rod in this kayak, because when you hook into if you're dragging and you hook into a big fish, or any fish really, it don't even have to be big, just the resistance of reeling that fish in, you're going to spin the kayak back toward the fish. So if you've got a second line out, you're going to end up wrapped up in that line while you reel in the other fish. So you're kind of limited to dragging one, or suspending two, or if we were anchored and had baits casted out, we could change our rod holder configuration. And probably, I mean, could go up to 4 in that situation, but 2 would be more realistic. So, you know, it's, if you're going to fish a tournament, and I've had talks with you all about this and other videos like this before about Because last year I had thought about taking my Old Town kayak with the pedals and fishing the whole tournament trail with just it. The thing I'm back and forth on with that is, it's like, if you're going to travel somewhere to fish a tournament, take on all of that expense. Because you're not just paying your tournament entry fee, you're paying hotel, fuel, food while you're on the road, another state's fishing license fee. Like, you're taking on all of those extra expenses to go to this event. If you're going to do that, you need to put yourself in the best possible situation to win or be competitive to cash a check in it, right? And so that's where it comes into having those extra tools available to you. So it would be fun to take this kayak to one of them national trail tournament events and win. But in reality, would that happen? Or would I go and finish? I mean, I'd probably catch some fish. I usually do with them tournaments, but, you know, finishing one spot out of the money or finishing dead last, it's all the same to me. I mean, if you ain't cashing a check, you ain't cashing a check, you know? So, I don't know. I'm going to have another kayak. Even though I'll be fishing a lot out of this, I'm still going to have another kayak that's rigged to the max. But I got 2 more at the house I need to do something with right now. I'm going to sell, I bought that native kayak last summer to try out. I was real enamored with it, but, well, these birds, man, that one right there just swooped down. They're all over there. There's some more. Look at them. Look at them right here. That's what they're doing. They're eating them shad. Them shad are up there near the surface, and they're coming down there and eating them. I'm telling you, folks, if you got these things, I forget what they call, but they migrate through my area in the winter. And if you see them, and you see them doing that right there, go fish some areas. Or if you're needing to get you some shad for bait, they'll tell you where they're at. They'll tell you where the bait's at. And in turn, they'll usually tell you where the fish is at, although the catfish seem to have moved on for the time being here. It's been a minute since we got a tap or anything in our baits. The graph, I've been glancing down it. It's pretty well clean too. There's a mark higher up and another little smaller one there on bottom, but it's pretty much, it's started to sprinkle a little bit here too. I could do without that. That's going to make it feel, this dampness is going to make it feel a little colder. But yeah, I've got that native Slayer Propel 10 LTE model. And at the time I got it, I thought it might be like a mix between this kayak and my Old Town big water pedal kayak. But it really wasn't. Like, this kayak is unique in how it feels and how it fishes. And that native was a big drop off from my Old Town kayak. The Old Town's much faster. And so, okay, finally we got another little tap over here on that bait, the head bait. So anyway, the native didn't work out like I'd hoped. So I'm going to sell it in the spring. One of my channel members had mentioned possibly wanting to buy it. So I'm going to give him first shot at it. And if he don't want it, I'll list it for sale. And then I'm probably going to sell my Old Town big water kayak too. I love that kayak. I've caught some big fish in it. It's fast. I like the bicycle style pedaling motion. The Old Town pedal drive is the best pedal drive on the market, in my opinion. But I'm just not using that kayak as much. Since I got the Lynx, I'm pretty much, and especially now that I'm catfishing out of this thing, I'm pretty much in this thing. If I'm not in my Hobie Pro Angler, like needing all of the gadgets and stuff, then I'm usually in this. I bet I didn't fish last year, all of 2025. I bet I didn't fish in that Old Town maybe 5 or 10 times. So it's like, do I really need that thing sitting there taking up space when I ain't using it? So I'm probably, if I still feel in the spring like I do now, I'm probably going to sell it then too. I do like that kayak. I like that pedal drive. But, oh goodness, are we going to get a, oh, he let it go. Just a tease, a little tug. Just the tease. But no, he's back for it. He's back. He got it then. Boy, it's been a while. We got spoilt there first thing, catching all them fish one after another, and then they moved on. Now we need some more to work through. This one here ain't gonna be very big, but I'm happy to get him nonetheless. Another bite. This fish said, I'll be happy to have him and land him with a smile on my face. That's what he said. He said, I'm gonna give him a good customer service experience here. That's a larger dink. Well, maybe not so much. He looked a little bigger down in the water. Another bite though, another fish. No matter what happens from here on out on this trip, we have had a good day numbers-wise, just with what we got there in the first little while that we were on the water. Let's just go ahead and cut this next shad right here. But yeah, the Old Town pedal drive, I mean, from a comfort perspective, I like it better than the Hobie pedal drive. And I'd actually give up on the Hobie pedal drive years ago because I kept having sciatic issues. I got piriformis syndrome back in, I think it was 2017 or 2018 from the Hobie pedal drive. But since I've had the Lynx, I've not had any issues. No sciatic issues. Now, I'm in better physical shape now than what I was back then, and I think that's probably played a role in it. But I still do prefer the Old Town pedal drive. But the thing is, the Old Town pedal drive, the downside of it, it's bulky, it's heavy, and it's in a fixed position. So like, just for instance, when I'm down there fishing down there in the Florida Keys, right? I've taken the Old Town down there, and I've taken this kayak down here the last 2 times. When you're going through them real shallow areas down there in the Keys, and sometimes depending on, you know, especially at low tide, but like even when the water's up, like you'll go from 5 feet deep to 5 inches deep, like that, the blink of an eye. Well, with the Lynx, this thing, I mean, it drafts just minimal water. Like you don't need much to float this thing. And with the Mirage drive here, the Hobie pedal drive, what you do, I'll pick it up here and show you. It's got these fins, right? So when you're in shallow water, you can push your pedals all the way forward, and them fins will be right up under the hull of the kayak. And then you can just kind of flutter kick and move yourself along in just inches of water. Well, the Old Town with the propeller drive, it's in a fixed position. And I don't know how far under the kayak it sits. It's probably like 10 or 12 inches. But like, it's there. So you need at least that depth to make it work, or else you got to raise it up and paddle. So when you're in them real shallow areas, or if you're having to maybe launch in the back of a creek somewhere where it's real shallow to get out to the main channel or deeper water or whatever, that Hobie drive is much more efficient, and it's lighter weight. It's compact when you're traveling and stuff, and you got to put your gear inside your vehicle, keep it from getting stolen at the hotel. Much more compact, doesn't take up as much space. So, you know, it's got some advantages too, but I do, just from personal, just being on the water, I do, from a comfort standpoint, prefer the Old Town pedal drive. Like, it's a really solid drive. It's well built. That one I got that Old Town, I think it was 2020 or 2021 I got it. And I've put a lot of miles on it, both freshwater and saltwater, and I've done nothing to it other than just, I hose it off after the saltwater use, of course, keep the corrosion away, but like, I've done no maintenance on it otherwise. I mean, none. And it just works. It's a maintenance-free drive. So, you know, very good quality, but since I've got this thing, I'm just not in the Old Town that much anymore. And it's like, well, if I'm not going to use it, if it's just sitting there, do I need it? So I'm probably going to let it go in the spring. I probably am. We'll see, but right now I'm kind of leaning toward selling it. I'm going to keep this, keep my Hobie Pro Angler for the tournaments, and get back to 2 kayaks again, get some space on my carport again. At some point, it may not be this coming year, or it may be, who the hell knows. Oh, our head bait got tapped. I'd love for just a big monster to take that thing down. I'd like a monster to just double that rod over. But at some point, I do want to try an inflatable kayak. I think that's going to be the future. The roto-molded plastic kayaks just keep getting bigger and bigger and heavier and heavier. They're turning into like little miniature plastic boats. And there's people like me that, and you know, and I know I'm a bit of a hypocrite because I do have that Hobie Pro Angler, which is big and heavy. And last year I had tried out that Bonafide XTR 130, which is even bigger and even heavier. But I really don't enjoy fishing out of those kayaks as much as I do the smaller platforms. The smaller and lighter weight the kayak, the more fun it is to catch big fish. And so I want to try the inflatable because, I mean, they're the lightest weight. And the quality of them, there's more brands making them. The quality's getting better. I'm going to eventually try one. And we'll see. My biggest fear with the inflatables, well, I have 2 fears. For catfishing purposes, let's say you hook into a big catfish, 40, 50 plus pounds. It's not unrealistic, right? You land him, and he gets mad, and starts flopping around. Those fins, the dorsal fins on them blue cats, man, them things are like, they're like knife points, really. And so if that fish starts flopping around and them dorsal fins flare out and it lands just right on that floor, you're going to puncture it. Now, I know now they're, you know, them inflatable, they're like, it's almost like PVC. You know, I mean, it's a thicker material, it's heavier duty, but when you've got that much weight coming down on that sharp of a point with their fins, like, I think it could pop it. The other fear was if I took it to the ocean and I'm out there shark fishing, you get a shark up close to the kayak to try, I don't try to get the hooks out anymore. I've learned my lesson, but I do like to try to cut my leader as close to the hook as possible. But you get it up there close and maybe that shark just, you know, it thrashes and its mouth is open and it catches the side of the kayak or something. Well, them teeth are going to poke right through it. So that's kind of my fear, but the ability to have a kayak that's at least as big and stable as this Hobie Lynx that I'm in, but cut the weight in half from what I have now. I mean, that's because the inflatable, the Hobie inflatable, it's a little bit wider than this Hobie Lynx, but it's, I think, 20-something pounds, I think it is. Throw on the seat and pedals a little bit more, but I mean, it's half, it's going to end up, the total weight will be half of this. And this thing here is already light. So I'm curious. I'm very curious. I'd like to try it out, but I don't know if that'll happen this coming year. And I think more companies are going to start getting involved in it too. The pendulum has swung so far in the direction of bigger and heavier, it has to come back at some point. It has to. It's not just me that wants lighter weight, more efficient kayaks. It can't be just me. Other people want it too. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But in the meantime, I'm going to be doing a lot of trips here in the Lynx. Any tournaments I fish, probably be in the Hobie Pro Angler. And probably end up selling my other two. At least the Native for sure is going to go. The Old Town, TBD, to be determined. What else? Oh, I know I was going to tell y'all too. Y'all don't care about this. This ain't fishing or kayak related at all. I'm going to tell you what I've done. So I'm on social media, I'm scrolling through. And this was before the holidays. So everybody's trying to sell you something. Some kit, some gadget, something you can't live without. You know, everything, all social media is just cluttered with gift ideas. Well, I come across these hair wax removal kits for your nose and ears. And as I've gotten older, maybe some of you fellas out there can relate. As I've gotten older, hair tends to grow more. Not on top of my head. I've got less hair on top of my head than ever before. But everywhere else on my body, my nose, my ears, my back, my butt. I mean, I got hair everywhere except on top of my head. And so my nose hair, I've had numerous nose hair trimmers through the years, but the one I liked the best broke. And I've had a few since then, but it ain't never been the same. Like, it don't cut as close, none of them cut as close or as good as what I want. So every time I shave my face, I got to trim my nose hair, ear hair and stuff. And so I was like, you know what, I'm going to try me one of them, I'm going to try to wax it. So I get me one of them kits, and it's like $9.99 or something on Amazon. It's cheap. So I get it. And I've watched the videos on people doing it and stuff. I've read the instructions. I feel like I'm good to go. I'm a little worried about it. I'm a little nervous, you know, before I do it. I mean, you're ripping hair out your body. Well, I take that back. I was, once upon a time, a long time ago, I dated a girl that was a hairdresser. And she talked me into waxing my unibrow one time. So she done that. And, but anyway, that was my only previous waxing experience, right? So I get this kit and I put the wax stuff in the microwave like it said to do there and got it all gooey. And I thought, I'm gonna try my ears first. So I put the little applicator thing down in the wax, mix it out, put it in my ear. And I was like, you know what, I better go ahead and put it in both ears because if the first one hurts, I won't do the second one. So I do that, I put them in both ears. I got these I look ridiculous. And of course my wife's in there watching this. She's living it up, you know, because she for some reason likes to see me in pain and agony. It's really sadistic, but that's how she is. So I've got these damn wax things in my ears. And you gotta wait, after you put them in, you gotta wait like a minute or two before you pull them out, because the wax, it's kind of gotta harden and attach the hair before you yank it. So I let it set, and then I grab hold of that applicator thing, and I give it a good yank. And it hurt a little bit, but it wasn't as bad as I was anticipating, because I thought it was going to hurt really bad. So after I done the first one, I'm like, oh, well, I mean, it hurt, but it wasn't as bad as I thought. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you know, and of course, then I'm looking at all my ear hair there on that wax thing. And I'm like, oh, you know, and I'm touching it and stuff, because I'm weird like that. I'm like, okay. So then I yank out the other one on the other side. And again, it hurt, but it wasn't as bad. It didn't hurt as bad as what I thought it was going to. So I'm like, okay, I'm good. So then, then folks, then I go to the nose. And I've got way more hair in my nose than I do on my ears. And let's be honest, the nose is a little bit more sensitive than the ears. So I shove this thing up, these applicator tips, I shove them up both nostrils. I get them in there real good, right? And the wife, she's sitting there she's just chomping at the bit. She wants to do it. She wants to be the one. I said, no, I'm doing it my damn self. So we let it set, and it's time. I'm nervous, you know, but I'm like, okay, it's not going to be as bad. It's going to be like the ears. It's not going to be as bad. And I grab hold of that thing, and I give it a good strong yank, and it don't pull out. I feel like I yanked my flesh off, but the wax is still inside my nose. Like it's still attached. And I'm like, oh my God, you know, I'm hollering at the damn mirror, and the wife, she's loving it. She's loving every second of this. And meanwhile, I've still got this thing up my nose. Like, what the hell am I going to do? Like, it has to come out. Like, it's attached. So I give it another hard pull, and I finally rip it out. And my nose starts bleeding, because not only did I rip the hair, I ripped the skin off my nose. So my nose is bleeding, but all this hair, it's out on this thing. And I'm touching, again, I'm looking at it, I'm touching it, because I'm weird like that. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So now I still got the other nostril to do. I'll work up a courage, you know, because it's got to come out. And I feel like the longer it sits in there, the harder it's going to be. So I give it a good hard yank. And once again, it don't come out. I couldn't get it out. I'm like, oh my God, my eyes are watering like I'm crying, you know, because I mean, anytime you get punched in the nose, your eyes water. The same thing with yanking a waxed applicator out. Like, it makes your eyes water. You're like, so I'm standing there hollering, wife's laughing. I still got this thing in the right nostril now. So I grab hold of it with both hands and pull it. Finally get the damn thing out. Now my right nostril's bleeding too, because I done yanked the skin off it as well. But I got all the hair out. I'm looking at that thing like, boy, it give me just a clean, smooth inside of my nostrils, man. Everything's gone. And so I told the wife, and I was like, I'm one and done on these waxings, honey. I'm done with this crap. I ain't never doing this again. Well, fast forward now. We're a few weeks removed from my first waxing. And like I said before, like, I used to have to trim my nose hair every time I shaved my face. And I'm not a daily shaver, folks. I shave when I get my stubble long enough that you can see that I've got gray on my facial hair. That's when I shave. So it's every 3 or 4 days I shave, and that's when I would normally do my nose hair. Well, that was before Christmas that I done that. And I ain't had to trim my nose hair since. Like, it started to grow back, but it ain't as thick, and it's taken a lot longer to grow back. So I'm like, well, maybe if I waxed myself, and I ain't done it yet, But I think I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna give it another shot, because I think if I wax myself again and there ain't as much hair up in there, maybe it maybe it won't hurt as bad next time. I hope. But maybe if I keep doing it, I won't. Maybe all the hair won't grow back. You know. So I don't know. I don't know. I ain't trying to talk yous into waxing your nose hair, fellas. Because I ain't gonna lie, it was painful, man. The ears wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be, but the nose was way worse than I anticipated. Way worse. I mean, I thought it was gonna hurt. It was 10 times worse. Ripped my damn flesh off. I mean, I was literally bleeding. Yank the hide off. So yeah, I done told my channel members that story, but now you all hearing it too. I'm either doing a public service here and talking you out of waxing your nose, or I'm about to cause you some physical pain because I've talked you into it. Either way, it was an experience for sure. Definitely an experience. I can't imagine. I remember that movie, The 40-Year-Old Virgin, hysterical movie. Most of y'all probably seen it, I'm sure. But when he had his chest hair waxed, I can't imagine. And I've got more hair on my chest now than ever before, because I just seem to be adding hair everywhere except top of my head. But I can't imagine doing that. It would be, and of course the wife, I mean, she goes and gets the nether regions waxed too. I can't imagine that. I mean, God almighty, it's got to be painful. I guess I'm just a wuss on that kind of thing. But I'm going to try it again, though. After all that, after I said I'd never do it again, I'm going to end up doing it again just to see, because it has been nice not having to trim my nose hair the last few weeks. We got one working this. We got one working that head bait over there. It's another small one. Where'd our fish go, man? They've moved. They've moved on. We need some more fish to work through. That little one, he's going to keep after that bait. He's going to mess around and get the hook in a minute. And I ain't going to feel the least bit bad for him either. He knows better than to mess with a bait with a hook in it. Sometimes they just got to learn the lesson on their own. They got to learn it the hard way. He's staying after it too, ain't he? Let me just make sure he got it. He does have it. He does have it, folks. I don't know if he's going to stay hooked up, because I don't think he's maybe got the whole bait and hook. I think maybe he's just got the bait. Let's see what's going on. No, he does. Boy, it's a tiny thing. That's what's been hitting our baits when we've seen them get hit and not hook up. How the hell he got hooked? I mean, that shad head's about as big as him. That's the smallest one of the morning. Give me that hook. You need to learn yourself a lesson here about biting baits with hooks in it, sir. This is very, very helpful for your future. You'll grow up to be a 100-pounder someday if you stay away from baits with hooks in them. When you do get 100 pounds, though, I want you to come back and bite my hook again. Let's see what we got going on here. It's still bleeding. The innards are going there, but we still got quite a bit of blood coming. So let's send it back down. We'll send this one back down. We'll give it a little while longer. We'll probably just switch out both baits. We'll just sit here and wait on some more fish to come through. If they do, they, you know, when you're doing this style of fishing, you're kind of dependent on active fish working through you. When you're anchor fishing, man, like you're kind of at the mercy of the fish to come to you. Whereas when you're dragging or drifting, trolling, you're taking your baits to the fish. So oftentimes what happens is you'll have these waves of fish come through. School come through, or feeding window will happen. You'll catch a bunch of fish, and then nothing. And then the next wave will come through. And we definitely, I mean, timing was right when we got on the water this morning. The timing was, I mean, perfect. We were, I mean, you saw we were catching one after another right there. And now it's subsided. So now we're just waiting on the next batch, or, you know, individual fish as they kind of make their way through. Sometimes it'll be like that, man. Like it'll be, I've had it both ways, where like you'll just get like a fish here, a fish there type thing. And I've had other days where I've anchored on spots for a few hours with nothing going on. And then all of a sudden it's like a light switch, and you just get bit nonstop for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, maybe on a good day, an hour, and then they're gone again. You know, it's just, every day's its own day. So you just never know. But places like this, because look over here at all them birds, they've moved over here now. But there's so much food in here, like, you know, these birds are in here eating that food. The catfish will be too. So it's just a matter of, when are the cats going to move in? Like, are they going to be moving through while you're on the water? Is that fish we just let go, that little blue cat over there? Is that him? Or is that another one floating? I think that fish might be dead. It's about the same size, though, as the one we let go, wasn't it? Did he not go back down? It don't look like it's moving, though. I don't want to come off anchor and go get him if he's dead. If it ain't the same fish. If it is the same fish, I might could either burp him, or I'll just throw him in my cooler. We might try to use him as bait. It ain't moving, though. It might be another fish or something. It might be another dead one just floating. Huh. He ain't moving. I think it might just be a dead one. I ain't gonna come off my anchor and go get him for a dead one. Nevertheless, y'all, nevertheless. Otherwise, though, what else I got to tell you about? Ain't a whole lot of exciting stuff been happening. You know, I missed a bunch of days there fishing for weather, and like I said, when I did go out, I wasn't doing no good. So I mostly been doing stuff around the house. Y'all probably make fun of me for this. I've been really into Mario Kart. Like, I'm not a video game guy. I'm not a gamer. But I got a Nintendo. When I got married, we went out to Las Vegas back there in October, and we got married. And we were going to be spending a lot of time playing airport and stuff, and I got a Nintendo, one of them Nintendo Switches. Switch 2s, what they're called. They're handheld, but you can also play it on your TV. And it came with Mario Kart. And I enjoyed it out there in Vegas. Well, I got home, I put it on, I plugged it into my TV. And you can play online against people on your TV. And so I've been doing that a lot. And I've been really into it. I hope I'm not turning into some video game nerd, but I've been into it, man. So I've played a lot of Mario Kart. I mean, a lot. I'd like to say I'm great at it, but I'm really not. I get beat all the time. When you first start playing online, they give you this it's like a player rating, I guess. You start at 3,000. And if you do good in races, you get points added to it. And when you do bad in races, they take points away. So I've been as high as 8,000 on my player ranking. And I fluctuate. Like I've hit 8,000 a couple times, and then I immediately lose, and then I'll get back down to like 7,700. And it seems like the players who are really good that you play against on there, they're like 8,500 to 9,000 on their number there that they have, their point. I don't even know what it's called really. It's just a number they put beside your name on the screen there. But the players are really good. They're 8,500 to 9,000, and I'm averaging 7,700, 7,800 range most of the time. So I've gotten better, but I'm not good enough to win consistently. But I've been into it, man. I've been into that, and I'm still into my action figures. For those of you who have followed along with my midlife crisis, it was 2024, my midlife crisis started. I thought it would be short-lived. It was not. It's still going strong. I'm reliving my second childhood. Been super into action figures. Not all action figures, just the WWE Superstars wrestling figures. They're like a He-Man body style. I've been into those big time. Like I'm all in on those. I've been into the G.I. Joe Classified series a little bit. I was really into them early on. I got some figures that had some quality issues, and so I kind of backed off. I'm still into them. I still like them, but I've cut back. I'm pretty much now, I'm not getting all of them. I'm just getting the ones that I really liked as a kid. And the wife has, you would think she would be my voice of reason and try to talk me out of buying stupid crap I don't need. But she's an enabler, folks. She is enabling the problem. Because for Christmas, one of the things she got me was the new WWE LJN figures. They're like the 8-inch, they're made out of plastic now, but they used to be like rubber. When I was a kid, growing up in the 80s, the very first wrestler I had was Hulk Hogan. And it was the 8-inch LJN figures. And I remember it was one of my earliest childhood memories. I have two really early childhood memories, both involving toys. And I don't know exactly when it was. The first one I know, like the first G.I. Joe I ever got was the barbecue action figure. And I got it in an Easter basket. So I'd looked that up there when my midlife crisis started. That barbecue figure, he came out in 1985. And my birthday is in March. So I would have just turned, I don't know if Easter was in March or April that particular year, but I would have just turned 3 when I got it. So that's one of, if not my earliest childhood memory. There was another memory from Christmas. Don't know what year, but I woke up and Santa Claus had got me the WWF at the time, but WWE now, the LJN figures. I walked into the living room and Santa had got me the ring, the big wrestling ring, and it had all the figures around the ring. I had Hulk Hogan, Hillbilly Jim, Junkyard Dog. I had them all. There's all around the ring. Iron Sheik. And so WWE just came out with these new LJN figures. They had Hulk Hogan, which they remade to look like the original that I had as a kid. John Cena, Logan Paul, and Dusty Rhodes. And boy, it hit that nostalgia, man. It hit that nostalgia trigger in me. And so what I done, I pre-ordered them on Target because they're a Target exclusive. And so I get them. They show up the house. 2 of them are the black card, meaning, so there's the original package is blue, but there's like a variant, like a rarer version that's black. The packaging's black. Well, 2 out of the 4 figures I got, the Hogan and the John Cena, were the black cards. Well, I immediately turned around, put them things on eBay because the pre-orders got delivered before they hit the stores. They were like a month before the figures actually hit the stores. So people were paying ridiculous prices on eBay. So I ended up selling both of the black card figures, the Cena and the Hogan, and I even sold the blue card, Dusty Rhodes, for more than the price I'd paid. So I ended up profiting after eBay fees and shipping and all that. I ended up making like $80 profit on it. It was crazy. So then I was like, you know, I've sold these other figures. I don't have room for this stuff. You know, I'm out of space already with the other action figures I've got. Like, I'm not going to collect these. I'm not going to get them. Well, I'll be damned if my wife didn't get me all 4 of them for Christmas. So of course I had to open them. And once you start opening them and you hold them and you smell them, you get that, you know, it's nostalgia all over again. It reminds me of being a kid. And so now I'm all in on those 2. So now I'm collecting those, the WWE Superstars, which is the Walmart exclusive, and then the G.I. Joes, some of the G.I. Joes. That's what I'm into right now. Now, thankfully, my wife, she found all 4 of those figures at Target. So Target's distribution seems to be a little better than Walmart's distribution on the other figures that I like, because they've been very difficult to find at times. I'm waiting on the next wave to come out on those. I'm pretty much caught up on all of the old ones now, at least the ones I want. There's a few that I haven't gotten that I just don't want. I'm going to get a second Andre the Giant at some point when I find a deal on him, because that particular figure, you can set him up 2 ways. You can either make him look like how I remember him in the 80s with kind of the short hair and the black single arm trunks, you know. That's how I remember him in the 80s. But when you look back at the older Andre the Giant stuff, he wore blue trunks and blue boots and had the big poofy hair. Well, you can set that figure up either way. So I'd like to have another one so I could set him up both ways. And there is a Hulk Hogan variant from Series 6 that has, instead of the yellow and red tights, it's got the blue. So you can set him up to look like that movie from No Holds Barred. And they just come out with the Zeus figure last summer. So I'd like to get one of those. But I've pretty much got them all otherwise, just waiting on the next wave to come out, which will have the Steiner Brothers, Hurricane, and Rob Van Dam. And then the series after that I really want. That's the one I'm really waiting on. It's going to have all 3 members of Demolition and Hacksaw Jim Duggan. So I've been a total nerd, man. I am a total 100% nerd over these action figures. It's a midlife crisis. I don't know how long midlife crises last. I would have thought it'd be over with by now, but it's not. And my wife's enabling me, so I buy damn action figures. And enjoying it too. Enjoying every second of it. I'm still waiting. For those of you who have sat through my action figure talks over the last, going on 2 years now that this midlife crisis has been happening, you all have heard me talk about, while I tell you the ongoing drama, let's put on new bait. Let's switch out our baits here. Let's get everything spruced up here. So for not this past Christmas, because I bought the motor for myself as my present, the Christmas before, Christmas of 2024, that's how long ago it's been. My Christmas present to myself was action figures. This company called Powertown they were making figures that are very similar to the Superstars figures that I'm into. It's like a He-Man body style type toy of the action figures, right? And they were taking pre-orders for some of their figures. And so I ordered the Rock and Roll Express, that I was big fans of as a kid in the 80s. And they had another 2-pack that had Tully Blanchard and Magnum TA. Now, I didn't care nothing about Magnum TA, but I wanted that Tully Blanchard figure. So I done the pre-order. And at the time, they were supposed to be delivered, but that bait there still looks pretty good. But I'm going to switch it out anyway. At the time, they were supposed to ship out in January of 2025. Well, now here we are, January 2026. I still ain't got them damn figures. Nobody's got them. Initially it was supposed to be January. Then in March, they updated their website, said they would be shipping soon, whatever that meant. And then in the summer, they were talking about tariffs and stuff, delaying shipping, but we would have them by the end of the year or whatever. And then Magnum TA, he's been on some podcasts, and Vern Gagne, they're both part of the company apparently. They've been on some podcasts talking about how they're coming and blah, 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 and talking like they're victims and whatnot, because everybody's bashing them. I mean, people have sent them, you pay the money, pre-order, and it wasn't like a situation where you pre-order and you commit to paying and then they just charge you when they ship. No, they took the money up front. And nobody's got their figures. And, for me, I had only pre-ordered those 4. So it wasn't as expensive as what a lot of people who ordered all of them. And they had other, not just that He-Man body style, but like they have other types of figures too. So like some people who had ordered all of the figures that they have available are out lots of money. And you can't get any updates. I've emailed them asking for a refund at this point because I don't have any hope that they're actually going to show up. No response. Nobody's getting any response. Some people online have been able to file like a stop payment with their bank or credit card or whatever. I wasn't able to do that because I waited too long. It's been over a year since I had placed the order, so I'd waited too long. I couldn't do it. So who knows, if they ever show up, great. I don't have any optimism that they will. I think they've just taken our money and ran. So it's been very frustrating. And I know what you're saying, well, Justin, that's what you get. You shouldn't be 43 years old and buying damn toys. And you're right. You are 100% right. I shouldn't be. But something changed in me in the summer of 24. I don't know what it was, but I just started going through my childhood again. I just started yearning for a younger, simpler time in life. And as a kid, I was very into action figures. That's what I played with as a kid. I had a bunch of action figures, like a bunch of different types. But for me, it was G.I. Joes, Ninja Turtles, and wrestling figures. Those 3 were the constant in my childhood. And thankfully, as an adult, I haven't gotten into the Ninja Turtles. And I don't know how I haven't, because I was really into them as a kid, but I have no interest as an adult. And they're everywhere. I mean, they've done all kinds of new Ninja Turtles. But I've just not been into those at all. But boy, them wrestlers, the WWE Superstars figures, and now the LJN figures, those really hit the nostalgia strings, man. They're really just, they know how to work me, folks. And apparently not just me, because when you go to a toy department looking for stuff, I don't ever see no kids in a toy department. Like if I go to Walmart, look for them Superstars figures, you don't see kids, it's adults. You see adults looking through the Hot Wheels and through the action figures. So, and I don't know why I couldn't get it. I had some Hot Wheels as a kid, but I wasn't ever really into them. And it's a damn shame because they're still cheap. when I was a kid, a Hot Wheel car would cost you $1, or a G.I. Joe was like $1.99. And you get into, the wrestling figures, Ninja Turtle, I think they were like $3.99, $4.99, something like that. Basically, as a kid, I could take my $5 allowance and I could get me either a couple G.I. Joes or a Ninja Turtle, something like that. As an adult, though, Hot Wheels are still like $1. I don't know how they've kept the price down on them things, but wrestling figures, G.I. Joes, you're looking at $20, $25. They actually just raised the price on G.I. Joes. They're $27 now. It's insane. Kids can't afford it. I don't think kids like action figures no more anyway, but if they did, they couldn't afford them, or the parents couldn't afford them. I mean, I don't know what the average allowance is for a kid nowadays, but I mean, even with inflation, it would be tough to get the number of figures, like, as a kid. I don't even know how many G.I. Joes I had. I mean, a bunch, a lot. There's no way a kid in modern day times could have that kind of number of G.I. Joes. It's just, I don't care what their allowance is. It's a different time now. I don't know if maybe it costs more to make them or if they're just price gouging because they know only adults are going to buy them. They're taking advantage of people like me who's been going through a midlife crisis, I guess. That's the only thing I can figure. So I don't know, man. I hope at some point I outgrow it and stop wasting money on these things. But at the same time, too, it's like I'm enjoying it. There's something about opening up an action figure out of the package. For that, I mean, how long does it take to open an action figure? I don't know, 30 seconds? I mean, it's not long. But during that moment, when I'm opening that figure up, it's like I'm 6 years old again. Like there's no stress. There's nothing else going on in life. I'm just a 6-year-old kid opening up his new toy in that moment. And there's value in that. I don't know if it's worth the $20 a figure or $25 a figure these things cost, but it's worth something. And I've enjoyed it. So I don't know. I'm weird, I guess. I hope I outgrow it, but I don't know. I'm so far into it at this point, I don't know that that's going to happen. I may just be in midlife crisis for the rest of my life. At least it's a cheaper hobby. I mean, it's not, but it is. Compared to something like, a lot of people my age, they get them a sports car, right? Like how many men you see 40 to 50-year-old range, they go drop 70, 80 grand on a sports car convertible or something like that. Or they get divorced and leave their wife and go run off with some 20-year-old girl. And that gets expensive too. Like not all midlife crises are equal. So maybe that's why my wife, maybe that's why she's enabling my action figure purchases, because the alternative is a Corvette and a 20-year-old college girl or something. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's her motivation. Who the heck knows, man? It's funny the stages we go through in life. It's like when you're a kid, I don't know what changed. I mean, puberty, I guess. I can't remember exactly when I stopped playing with toys. I don't remember exactly when it was. I don't know, but something changes as a kid. Like I guess maybe puberty, and you start thinking about girls more into girls and sports than you are toys or something. Maybe your brain just develops more, and you kind of lose your imagination a little bit. Because I mean, as a kid, and this ain't unique to me. I mean, you see it with all kids. Like a child's imagination is amazing. I mean, they come up with these elaborate stories, and I mean, boys and girls both. I mean, like for me, being into action figures and stuff, like as a kid, I would go out in the woods and build forts with G.I. Joes and play in the creek and stuff, and like have these battles and whatnot. And same with the wrestling figures. You know, I'd have these matches and all that. And you see it with girls, like they'll play with their dolls or whatever and play house or whatever girls do. Like you see it as kids, like the imagination, you have the ability to do that. But something happens as you get older, and I'm not going to lie, some of my action figures, like I've tried to play with them, but it ain't the same. Like I can't, my brain, it don't work the same anymore. And I don't know if it's like a muscle where if you don't use it, you lose it, or if it's just something, it's just part of the development process as we age, as going from a child to a teenager to an adult. If you just lose it, I mean, maybe having an imagination when you're a child, it just helps you learn, or I don't know. Lord knows I'm not a neurologist, and for damn sure not a psychologist. So I'm talking out my ass here. I have no idea. Somebody smarter than me could explain to me exactly how the brain works, I'm sure. But I just know as an adult, my imagination is pretty well gone. Like I can daydream about stuff, and I can work through problems in my mind, but I can't, playing with the toy, like I couldn't take out my G.I. Joes and have a battle like I could as a kid and be just fully immersed in that battle, you know. I couldn't do that now. I'd like to. I'd love to go back to a simpler time, but you can't go back. You can trick yourself into thinking you can go back by buying overpriced action figures as an adult and open them up and stuff, but it's short-lived. It's you get that dopamine rush for about 30 seconds, and then it's back to reality again. But I got an enabler for a wife. She's now started my third collection with LJN figures, and there's more coming. It ain't a one-time thing on them, folks. They're coming out with more in the spring. King Kong Bundy, Ultimate Warrior, Stone Cold. Who was the fourth one? Jesse the Body Ventura. That's who it was. Yeah, them four are coming out in the LJN style sometime in the spring. So that's basically another $100 I've committed to myself. They're $25, so another $100. Maybe I can get them on sale at Target or something. Yeah, that's pretty much what I've been up to, folks. Mario Kart, action figures, and not catching fish. That's where I've been the last month that y'all have barely seen me online. We did have a good Christmas, though. We went to my parents' on Christmas. We've always done stuff at my parents' house on Christmas Eve. So me and my wife, we went to my parents' Christmas Eve. We went to her parents' on Christmas Day and had Christmas with her folks and her sister. And then the weekend after Christmas, we went to North Carolina and celebrated with her mom's side of the family. with her aunts and uncle and cousins and stuff. So we went over there. We drove over on a Saturday, spent the evening over there, had supper, watched the ball game, opened presents, and then spent the night at a hotel. And we went back Sunday morning, and her aunt fixed breakfast, and we all ate before driving back home. So it was a good trip. The hotel experience over there, let me tell you that while we wait on more fish to buy, look, these fish, they've abandoned us. These fish, they ain't listening to no damn action figure talk. They got better stuff to do than listen to me. This hotel experience in North Carolina really got me thinking about just the whole hotel industry. I never have worked in a hotel. So I have no real life experience, but I've been a consumer. Like, I've stayed in some hotels in my lifetime. And when I was a travel nurse, I was on the road a lot, so I've stayed in a lot of hotels, a lot of Airbnbs. I've been around a little bit, so I've got some experience from the customer side of things. So we get over there, and we were staying at a Best Western. My wife's dad had booked us a room over there. And we check in, we're tired because we had driven over that day and then spent the evening there with her family. So we were tired. We were pretty much ready to go to bed when we got there. And so I turned the thermostat up and, turned the heat on, and we went to bed. Well, I woke up, I was freezing. And the air conditioning, it was kind of loud anyway. That's what woke me up, or the heat and air unit, whatever. But it was cold in there. And I'm like, man, it feels cold. But I didn't want to get over there and start messing with it in the middle of the night because I knew I'd wake her up. So I snuggled a little closer to her to try to keep warm and tried my damnedest to go back to sleep. Well, I ended up, tossing and turning most of the night. And she had done that too. And we got up next morning, and both of us were just freezing. We go over there and look, and hell, the damn thermostat's like 51 degrees. And I know 51 ain't cold, but by God, it feels cold. And right out here this morning with this, when the breeze blowing and this dampness in the air, 51 degrees feels cold out here right now. But, anyway, it's cold. Well, apparently the damn heater never worked all night long. Even once we got up, we couldn't get it working. So we should have went back down there and got a different room, but I'm laying there thinking she's asleep, not wanting to wake her up. And apparently she was laying there thinking I was asleep, not wanting to wake me up. So we both just froze all night long. Well, it got me thinking about things. And when I went, here's another experience too. So I went to Florida there in November. Of course, we got that place down there in the Keys, but on the way back, I had stopped to fish Lake Ida. And so I didn't end up making the full drive back home. I drove, where did I stay? I pulled off somewhere in Georgia there and got a room for the night and then drove the rest of the way home the next day. Well, I booked a room on Expedia there. They've already got my payment. I go to check in, and the guy at the check-in desk there in Georgia, we got a little action here on the left rod. It's sitting there a little bit. Let's see if he'll commit to it before I lean over and get him. He ain't taking it over real hard. Let me see if I can just jerk a hook on him. There we go. Long time coming. We've had another break here between the fish. I've had plenty of time to tell you about all the action figures and how I'm going to fix the hotel industry. Well, to be continued on the hotel story. Come up here, fish. These people here, they tuned in for a fishing video, not for me to tell them about the problems with hotels. Come over here. I hear you. Where'd all your friends go? We were catching yins left and right when we first got out here. Now yins have done moved on. Y'all moved, but I ain't. We're shielded from the wind here where we're at, and I don't want to fight the wind. We're actually going to get out of here today before the worst of the wind moves in, but where we're at, we're at least shielded with this bank behind us here. Yeah, let's get another body section and put on here. These shad, we're basically, I could use the tail, but I don't really like using tails. We're just gonna get 2 baits out of each one of these shad, most likely. Anyway, I've already paid this hotel in Georgia. I've already paid. I've booked it through Expedia. But I get there, I got to deal with the guy at the desk, and he's weird. And he's wanting to tell me about his life and all that, and life story and all his problems. And I don't give a damn. Because, I mean, I got up that particular morning, I had got up early. Had to drop my wife off at the airport. Then I went and fished on Lake Ida. Then I drove 8 hours or so. And then I'm tired at that point, right? Like I'm ready to go and get a good night's sleep and hit the road again the following morning. Well, the process takes forever. And then the keys that he give me the room don't work. I gotta go back down, deal with him again, get more keys. It was a big ordeal. And I'm thinking about it and I'm like, the hotel industry needs to get with the times. Airbnb, and for a while I was into Airbnb. Like in my travel nurse days, I stayed at a lot of them. But then Airbnb got ridiculous with the price gouging. People charging the cleaning fees, and then Airbnb with the service fees, and it got just ridiculous. So then it was kind of, hotels were the better value again. But the one nice thing about Airbnbs was you didn't have to deal with anybody. You book it online. The homeowner, the Airbnb owner, would email you check-in instructions. And you get to the house, there would be a keypad, electronic keypad on the door. You put in the code they give you. You go in. You complete your stay, you leave. You don't have to actually ever interact with the owner outside of maybe an email exchange back and forth when you're first booking it. That's it. But hotel, you are forced, even if you book it online, you are forced to go in and interact with an actual human being. Now, it ain't like that at all hotels. When we went to Las Vegas for a wedding, well, my wife checked us in. We stayed at Caesar's Palace. My mom stayed at Harrah's across the street. But when we were checking my mom in, they had these kiosks. And we were able to do the check-in, get our keys and all that at the kiosk. But every other hotel I've ever been to, you have to interact with a human being. And unfortunately, if you're checking into a hotel late in the middle of the night, it ain't necessarily a human being oftentimes that you want to interact with. You know what I mean? Like it ain't, you know, when you're tired, well, I'll speak for myself. When I'm tired, I'm not the most pleasant person to be around. I get a little grumpy. I get a little irritable. I don't want to hear somebody's life story when I'm drag-assing, right? So, yeah, I don't want to deal. I just want to go punch in a little key code, and go on in. I know what you're saying. Just don't rely on a hotel to make them change and do that. Just get an Airbnb. Well, I don't want to stay at an Airbnb anymore because it's gotten so crazy. You know, when Airbnb first started, it used to be cheap. It was way cheaper. Well, there's the wind blowing right there too. Just got a gust hit me from the back there. I'm hesitant about crossing the channel again here in the links if the wind really does get 30-mile-an-hour gusts like they're calling for. Like I'm gonna try to leave before the wind gets bad, because while I don't have to go a long distance to get back to the car, I do have to cross open water. And it's gonna get a little hairy if we're going 30-mile-an-hour gusts. But anyway, Airbnb used to be cheap when it first got going. You could get a room in somebody's house cheaper than a hotel room. And sometimes you get the whole house cheaper than a hotel room. It was great. But something happened, and Airbnb, I guess, got greedy. They started charging you all these fees. And then homeowners started charging these ridiculous cleaning fees. And all of a sudden, it just wasn't a good value anymore. And the last Airbnb I stayed in, it's been 2 or 3 years. I'll tell you the last Airbnb I stayed at. It was when Elias V Fishing YouTube channel, he had come to Chattanooga. And him and I were going to fish together for a few days. And so I split an Airbnb with him down there to keep from having to drive home every day. Because Chattanooga, it's like hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours, depending on traffic and stuff, each way. And so I didn't want to make that drive each day down there that he was going to be in town. So I just split an Airbnb with him. Well, they charge us a ridiculous cleaning fee. And then you get there to the house and there's a list of instructions upon checkout. They want you to strip the beds, start the dishwasher, take out the trash. I'm like, if we're cleaning house, why are we paying a house cleaning fee? Like, the house cleaning fee is more expensive than what any reasonable housekeeper or maid service would charge, and we're doing most of the work for them. Like, what do they got to do? Sweep and mop and put on fresh linens? Like, that's all that's left for them to do once we've stripped the beds and took out the trash and washed the dishes for them. So, like, what's the cleanup? They do one or the other. Either we're going to clean house or we're going to pay the fee, but don't expect us to do both. So that's where Airbnb for me is I kind of got turned off from it. I don't even look anymore. Now I'm pretty much, if I'm traveling, I just get a hotel. I'm not staying at no Ritz-Carlton, but I'm not staying with Tom Bodette at Motel 6 either. Like, I'll look for a Comfort Inn or a Holiday Inn or Holiday Inn Express. I'll just see whatever's the cheapest of those kind of mid-tier hotels. Because at least with that, when you're staying at a hotel, you're not getting gouged on cleaning fees. You get breakfast. Depending on the hotel, it may not be a great breakfast, but usually a Comfort Inn or Holiday Inn, they're usually around between 100 and something a night, and you get a nice breakfast with it, and a well-lit parking lot, which is important to me if I'm traveling with gear and stuff. So, I don't even look at Airbnb anymore, but I do miss the check-in process of just having an electronic keypad on the door and not having to deal with people. And if you have a problem at a hotel, you just go get a different room, like me and the wife should have when we went to North Carolina. I'm not y'all know me. I'm a fair weather fisherman. I'm not a camper. Like, a lot of guys like to camp and, do these fishing trips where they're staying out, cooking over an open flame and sleeping in tents on the ground and stuff. That's not me. Never has been, never will be. I like a good, comfortable bed and a roof over my head at night. Our ancestors that came before us, they worked very hard to ensure we didn't have to sleep on the ground and cook our dinner over a campfire Like, they worked real hard to ensure we don't have to do that. So I don't understand what compels people to go out and do just that, but some people do. So some of y'all out there watching, listening to this right now, if there's anybody left that didn't get turned off by my action figure stories, you all probably like, wow, hell, you wake up in 51 degrees, who cares? But for me, by God, I want to wake up and it be 70 degrees in there. So, yeah. I just think hotels should be more like Airbnbs, and Airbnbs should be more like hotels. And both of them would have thriving industries. Yeah, we noticed that too. I'll tell you this, when we were out there in Las Vegas, the first time that I went to Las Vegas years and years and years ago was before Uber. So if you needed to get from the airport to your hotel, you had to either take a taxi or a rental car. And the taxis took advantage of people. I mean, they would gouge you. They would go, I mean, if you're traveling out there, you probably don't know the shortest distance from the airport to the hotel, right? So I think they would kind of go out of their way to take you a longer distance and run up the fare. Well, Uber comes along, and then all of a sudden everybody's using Uber, and it was great because it was initially much cheaper. Well, when we went out there this past time for our wedding, initially we got Uber. And right away I noticed it was more expensive than the previous time I had been out there and used Uber. But it's like, whatever, it's convenient, and we have to get from the airport to the hotel and vice versa. But on the way back from when we were leaving to get to the airport, we took a taxi cab. And it was cheaper than the Uber. So, it's one of those things. It's like taxis had a monopoly on the industry. Uber comes in, kind of disrupts things, really good for the consumer early on. Then price on Uber kind of creeps up. And now it's probably a balance between the two. Same thing with the hotel. Initially, Airbnb comes along, and you're like, boy, hotel industry, it's going under. It's going out of business. They can't compete with Airbnb. You get to stay in a nice house for a fraction of the price. But then Airbnb, they gotta make some money. They got shareholders and bosses and all that's got to get paid. So then they got to tack on them fees. And then homeowners, they're like, well, we can charge cleaning fees and all this extra and blah, 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 and we can make a little, and before you know it, you're paying more for an Airbnb that you actually have to clean up after yourself and do work before you can check out. You're paying more for that than what you can go to a hotel room where you can have housekeeping come in and make your bed and get you a free breakfast in the mornings. So, the pendulum kind of swings back. I don't know, man. I enjoy being other places. Like for Florida, for instance, I really love fishing down in Florida. But traveling to get the driving and the hotels and stuff, like I'm really more of a homebody. I like being home. I like sleeping in my own bed, my own bathroom. Every time I travel, man, it's the little things in life. My wife, she had got me a bidet a few years ago. And boy, once you start using a bidet, it's hard to go back to toilet paper. And when you travel, none of these hotels, they don't have a bidet. So it's like you got to retrain yourself how to wipe your ass again. And you can't go. It's hard to go from a bidet to toilet paper again. Like you can easily make the transition from toilet paper to a bidet, but you can't go back. Nobody has ever in the history of the world ever went from using a bidet and be like, no, you know what? I think I would prefer toilet paper. Nobody has ever done that. So, yeah, it's another one of those things. I like being home. I like my own bed. I like my own crapper, my own refrigerator. I like being home. But I do like being other places. I like fishing other places. Just the process of getting there. This rod tip. We got a fish out there. And we've got some more bait looking through. Look here. Look right here, folks. All that right there is bait. Our line is at an angle here. I think a fish might have that bait. Our rod tip kind of stood up, and our line's at an angle. Let's see what he does with it, if anything. I think he may have dropped it because the blind's coming back now. Yeah, he dropped it, just a tease. But it is nice to see some bait there on the screen again. Maybe if the bait works, oh, he's back on it now. Got him. We got him. Well, this is going to pull a little bit, okay. See, I mean, even this fish here, he's pulling, but I mean, he instantly spun the kayak around. I love that. I love it. Nice to get another bite. We went from on like Donkey Kong to twiddling thumbs. But that's how anchor fishing goes, man. That's how it is. That's just part of it. And videos like this, when I do these unedited videos here, he's going to be a larger dink. Videos like this kind of give you the full picture, right? Like, you get the, I've said it before, like, when I edit a video, let's say I'd edited today's video down, I could probably get this video, we've caught a lot of fish today, but we could get it down to 30 minutes or so, and it would look like we just caught fish all morning long, nonstop. Ain't that right, Fish? That's what it'd look like. He says, hell yeah, it would. I'm gonna put this other head bait on. We've already got it cut. It would look like we just caught fish nonstop. And we did there for a little while when the bite was really on when we first got set up. But then we had some breaks. And some days you have long breaks. I mean, there's days if you just ain't on the water when fish are active. Like, you may not get bit at all, you know what I mean? Like, you've been skunked before, you know. Everybody has. But when you edit a video down, it don't matter how many fish you caught. It looks like you just catching them nonstop, but that just ain't reality. And videos like this, it's a realistic look at what fishing is like. And, you know, I don't post this style of video if I get skunked. I'm not going to film for 2 to 4 hours and not catch any fish and post it. Like, I'm not going to do that. But, you know, if there is a stretch of an hour or two where there's no fish, well, I mean, I'll sit here and tell you stories while we wait. But that's realistic. Like, that's the reality of fishing. You're going to have some downtime. You're going to have some breaks between the action. Now, when I'm ultralight fishing, which I don't do as much of in the winter, because, well, I mean, oftentimes in the winter, the bite in the shallows just isn't as good. And while I love ultralight fishing, I don't like ultralight fishing super deep. So there's some creeks I can fish where you'll have fish up in the shallow, especially on your warmer days and stuff. But, like, I just don't do as much of it in the winter. But when, like, spring to fall, I can take a shoreline and my ultralight rod and some gulp minnows or some worms or something like that, a small bait, and we can get consistent action all the way down a shoreline and just be catching fish. I can, however long I'm filming, we're catching fish pretty consistently through. But with catfishing, it's a little different. Now, if I'm drifting, well, even when I'm drifting, I mean, you're still going to have downtime. You're going to have stretches where you're not catching fish. But, I mean, it's just, that's how fishing is. And while YouTube and social media and stuff has been beneficial for helping people learn how to fish and really, really shortening the learning curve. Look at this one. Something was tugging on that line. I mean, I wish YouTube had been around when I was a kid and a teenager and fishing and stuff. Like, I would have saved a lot of time. He's back on it. I don't think he's got it, though. I think he's just tugging on it. He's barely taking that rod tip down, and them rod tips are easy to take down, so I think it's another one of them small ones. He's still tugging, though. Let me go ahead and try and pick up on here. No, I pulled it right out. He let go. But, you know, I had to learn what I've learned through trial and error mostly. And YouTube and TikTok and Facebook, all that, like it, now people can shorten the learning curve. They don't have to do as much trial and error. They can just watch videos on how to do stuff. And so it really speeds up. So there's some benefits to it. But the other side of that is that when you're watching these videos that are curated to maximize the watch time and the retention, if you want to maximize your retention, you've really got to keep the action going. You know, you've got to keep people engaged and entertained. Now me, I'm at a stage in life where I don't give a shit. People can either watch it or not, and I don't give a damn whether you do or you don't. I'm happy for those of you that do watch, but I'm not going to pander all that much. I'm going to do the type of videos that I want to do. And today I come out here and it's like, well, I ain't fishing very long today, and I ain't talked to y'all in a while. I got a lot of things to tell you. So we're going to do this style of video. If people watch it, great. If they don't, so be it. But most people that makes videos are trying to edit them and curate them in such a way that's going to get the maximum watch time, maximum retention, etc. And to do that, you need a lot of action. And so that's fine for video purposes. It makes for an entertaining video. But then when people who have watched that video hoping to learn something, they go out on the water to apply what they've learned from the video. When they don't get that constant action that they've seen, they think they're doing something wrong or that they're not any good. You know, you can break a person's confidence real early. So I don't like doing that. I mean, I want to come out and have days like today where the bite's on as soon as we get on the water. But that's not realistic all the time. It happened for us today, great. Next time it may not. Lord knows I had some trips in December, man, you couldn't hardly buy a fish. I had some skunk days, had some other days you catch 2 or 3 small fish. Like that's, you know, that's just the reality of it. You're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days, you're going to have times where it's one fish after another, and you're going to have times where you go hours without a bite. That's fishing, man. And the nice thing about this style of video is you get to see that. For better or worse, if you stick it out with me on these trips, you're going to see all of that. You're going to see the mishaps. Man, we could very easily hook a big fish today, get him in the anchor rope and lose him. Like that happens. Maybe something gets knocked overboard. You know, things that might not make me look good as a fisherman, might make me look incompetent or, you know, tarnish my, whatever. You know, everybody on social media wants you to think that they're better than they actually are, right? I mean, that's human nature. Everybody wants admiration and respect and stuff. So a lot of things that happens on fishing trips, whether you lose fish or make a mistake or whatever, if you have the option to edit that out and prevent people from seeing it, well, most people are going to do that. They're not going to want you to know that they're not as good as what they want you to believe they are. And so videos like this, you just get to see it all, is what I'm getting at. Like, it's just, you get to see everything, and I make mistakes, I miss fish, I lose fish. Everybody does. I just ain't gonna hide it. All these birds over here, man. Them pelicans moved in, run the other birds off, but they're over there. They've swooped in over there to try to get whatever shad them other birds were swooping down to get. There they go. I think them are pelicans. I can't remember what the other type of birds are, but pretty sure them pelicans. I'm sorry for sniffling here, folks. I got snot trying to drip out my nose. It's cold. I think it's gotten colder since I've been out here. I think when it started to, it wasn't really raining. It's just kind of it's a mist. Like, you see it on my tools and rods and the graph and stuff. Like, there's some fish down there, but it's like a mist. It's real damp. So every time the wind hits me a little bit, which it ain't, I don't know what it's like out there in the open water. I can look out there kinda and see it's a little, you can kind of see in a distance, you probably can't see on camera, but you can see out there it's a little rougher. Here it's calm because of the way the wind's blowing. But every once in a while the wind will hit me a little bit, and that with the dampness, it's colder than it feels. Some of y'all up north watching this right now, you're like, you'd be out in shorts and a t-shirt in weather like this. I'm sitting here with my hood over my head and my hoodie. I could use a jacket actually, but I think it was last year or the year before, I'd kind of made a pact with myself that if it was so cold that I was going to need a coat, that I just wasn't going to go fishing anymore. Because when you get all bundled up and you can't hardly move, I just don't enjoy it as much. And here's the other thing too. When you're pedaling, if you're all bundled up and you got to pedal to get where you're going, you're going to start sweating. And then once you're sitting there, now you're all wet, and you're going to cool off, and it's going to make you colder. So I dress in layers, but still, if it's so damn cold that I need a bulky coat to keep warm, I ain't going. I'll stay home, play Mario Kart, rearrange my action figures on the shelf. That's what I'll do. Tomorrow, it's supposed to be a little warmer, and the wind is going to be perfect the next 2 days. I think I'm going to go Chattanooga. I've got them crappie back here in the cooler. I really want to take them down to Nick Jack and see if I can get either a big blue or a big flathead. You know, wintertime, a lot of places, flatheads completely shut down. Oh. I think he still got it. Yeah, he does. Yep. Got another fish. Oh, we don't now. I think he just ripped us off. No, we didn't. Bait's still on there. But flatheads in a lot of places where it gets real cold, like they'll shut down. But you know, where I live, our water temps, the flathead bite slows down a lot. but they don't completely stop eating. Like you'll still have a chance at them. I catch flatheads every winter. I won't get a lot of them, but I will pick one off occasionally. This one, also, small fish came off. Would have been edited out of a regular video, folks, but you saw me miss 2 in a row, back to back. It's those small stuff right there. That's what we're dealing with right there. But you know, water temps out here today, it's 49.5 degrees. So, you know, we're kind of hovering around high 40s, low 50s water temps, depending on where you're at. The creek I was in yesterday, getting the shad, was like 51 degrees. So, you know, water temps are kind of at that level pretty much everywhere in my area. So flathead's possible, not likely, but it's possible. And I'm gonna go down there and take him crappie with me, and along with some shad, and see what happens. I think I'm gonna take this kayak with me too. Since the wind ain't gonna be bad, I'm gonna drift. You know, I mean, I say, I ain't heard back from Daniel. I don't know. I messaged him yesterday and I told him I was thinking about coming down there, asking if he wanted to fish. I ain't heard back from him. He ain't the most punctual text responder. But I'd like to go down there and just go for a drift and see what I can run into. Well, I think I'm gonna take this kayak and probably the light tackle stuff, and we hook into something big down there. Way more likely to hook into a monster there than I am here. Although we could hook into a monster here. Okay, some big fish in here, but it just seems like there's more of them the further south you go. When you get on down to Chickamauga, Nickajack, and then especially when you get on down to Alabama, Gunnersville, Wheeler, Wilson, the fish just keep getting bigger the further you move on down. So hopefully have a good trip next couple days. It's been a good trip out here this morning, other than the fact I'm just cold right now. I thought this morning, I've been fishing afternoons lately because that's when it's the warmest. But I thought this morning I could beat the wind, which we have, and maybe catch some fish, which we have. So it's been a good trip. I prefer fishing mornings. I mean, you all know this. Spring to fall, when it's warm, I like to get out and fish from dawn till 10, 11 o'clock and call it a day. Suits my lifestyle a lot better. But in these winter months, when it's 20, 30 degrees in the mornings, like I ain't doing it. I don't need to catch fish that bad. I got some more bait coming through. That's all bait right there along the bottom. That's a fish right there around that bait too, ain't it? Tell you, as that bait moves along, them fish are in and around it. They're just following them schools of shad. That's why it's important to look for the birds. The birds will tell you where the shad's at, and the shad will tell you where the catfish are at. That's another one here, ain't fighting very hard. I thought, oh, he just let it go. Did you see that? He never had the hook. Never had the dang hook. At least we got a look at him. He wasn't very big. Another eater, dink. Dinkity doodah. Okay. Goodness gracious. Wind's coming from behind me here. I felt it when I turned it, touched my face. It was like a kiss of death. There's something about when it's damp and the wind's blowing, it just, I swear it feels colder. I should have had one more shirt on under my hoodie. It's all right. We'll persevere. I ain't gonna fish much longer. I don't want to. I really don't want to be still on the water when the wind, assuming the forecast is accurate. When that wind really ramps up today, I don't want to be on the water still. The wind ain't your friend in a kayak, especially this kayak. This is if there's one drawback, and it's kind of, you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. What I like about this particular kayak, the Hobie Lynx, is the hull design. But that hull design also makes it really difficult in the wind. You get blown around real easy. When the water's choppy, you're going to take a lot of water over the bow just because it's so low to the water. Now, it all drains out, but still, it's a wet ride. Like, you're going to get wet in real choppy conditions. So this, on a real windy day, this ain't what you want to take out. You really don't want to take out any kayak on a super windy day, but especially this one. So I'd like to be off the water before it really ramps up. So I ain't gonna fish too terribly much longer. We'll give it a little while longer here since we just saw that bait go through on the graph and whatnot. But we've got what I wanted out here this morning, with the exception of a big fish. I really wanted. With that one we got was pretty good. Nice fun sizer. But I mean, I was really hoping to hook a monster, but we've got a bunch of bites. And for some of the days I've had recently, I needed a day to catch a bunch of fish. Really boosts the confidence. When you have several trips in a row that don't go your way, it's like you start questioning yourself. You start second guessing things. You start trying stuff that, like, well, this don't work anymore. Let me try this, and then that don't work. Let me try this, and usually I have to kind of just tell myself the damn truth, which is you need to just get back to basics. Just focus on what you know works. Put yourself in productive areas and ride it out. And that's what we're doing today. We're anchoring right in a creek channel that we know is loaded with bait and fish are going to be working in and out of. And if they work in and out while we're here, we catch them. If we're not here when they decide to come through, well, we ain't going to catch them. But you log enough hours in productive areas, good things happen. And that's just what you got. When you're in a slump, that's what you got to tell yourself. And this one's hooked up. The other one was over there, was getting messed with, but this one's for sure hooked up. It's blue for sure. I felt him rolling. He's going to be another dink. Another dink, but another bite nonetheless. Can't tell if he still got that bait or if he threw it off. He still got it. It's in his mouth there. We might reuse it. Let's see what it looks like here. Come here, fish. We really, all things considered, tell these people high and by, he ain't telling you nothing. He ain't got nothing to say to you people. But you know what? All things considered, for as many fish as we've caught today, we really ain't used many of my shad. I'm still going to have plenty to take with me. Definitely tomorrow. Now, I may have to reload on bait depending on how tomorrow goes. But, boy, it'd be nice if I could use the bait I got for the next 2 days. these fish today giving us the bait back so many times has definitely helped the cause. It ain't a fish moving us around right now, folks. That's just the wind. Kind of swirling through here. The wind is, depending on how it's blowing. It's moving, but it don't take much in this guy to move you around. Like, I can sit there when I'm like at the water's edge getting ready to get in this thing. Used to, well, you just take my Hobie Pro Angler for just as an example. Like, I'll back the trailer down, launch it like a boat, pull it up on the shore, then go park a truck and come back and get in. Well, if the wind's blowing and it blows the back end of the kayak around, like, you gotta like pull the kayak back where you can get in, right? It takes a little bit because you got to pull the resistance the way the kayak sits, like it's creating resistance as you pull it in the water. This thing, I can sit here, like, I could be on the water's edge and like pull the front, push the back, and this thing will just spin 360. It's truly like a leaf that's floating on the water and just getting pushed around everywhere by the wind. That's why it's so fun when you hook into a big fish on this thing, but it has its drawbacks too. These birds are over here now. Them shad are just getting pounded from the top and the bottom. The fish push them up close to the surface, and the birds push them back down toward the fish. We could, I mean, you know, this creek, we're anchored. We could have trolled this creek. We could have drifted this creek. I mean, whatever style of fishing you like doing, it could be done. But for me, today, like, I just want to come out and just sit on a spot and just wait. Because with these shad being on the move and being chased like they are, it's a matter of time before, you know, we got lucky that they were here and the fish were here first thing, but you could replicate it. If you trolled through this creek enough, you'd eventually find them fish and possibly have the same bite for a little while. Like, I mean, it's whatever you like to do. That I guess that's where I'm trying to go with this. I'm fumbling my words and whatnot, but like, whatever style of fishing you like to do it. Because when you're struggling and you're in a slump, and you will, I mean, you're going to have times where you just don't catch fish, or you're in a slump and struggling and all that. Like, it happens to everybody. But if you're doing what you like to do and the style of fishing you like to do and what you're confident in, it's going to be a lot easier on you to break out of that slump. Like, you're going to have more confidence to stick with something longer if you're enjoying it, if it's something you like. And that extra time, that's what it takes, man. It's time on the water. It's time on the water in productive areas. That's what's going to get you bit. Good bait in areas where fish are going to be, like, do it long enough, you get bit. But if you don't have confidence in what you're doing, or you don't like what you're doing, you're not going to stick with it. You're not going to put the time in. He got hit at the end. He hit at the end. And hit it a little harder. I don't know if he'll be any bigger, but he hit it harder. He thumped it. He's definitely a little better. This is a better one here, folks. He's down there and he's staying down. I hope he keeps going that way, away from the anchor. I can't remember, did we have a head on this? I think we got 2 heads down right now, don't we? It seems like we do. I do like them head baits. It's a blue. He's running. He's running now. That's a solid fish. I knew when he hit it, man. He hit it hard. It's like he inhaled it. I'm gonna let him just take his time, play him out. We're using the light tackle. We can't horse him no way. Yeah, he's staying down there, right there under us. As long as he's up there, I'm gonna stay on anchor. If he starts trying to come back this way, I'll disconnect us here and we'll just take off. Reattach here when we're done. He's starting to come up now. I'm curious to see if he'll be, he ain't gonna be a monster, but I think he might be potentially a fun sizer. He's strong for sure. Yeah, that's another fun sizer right there. Another good fish, man. Another good one. Okay, he's gonna go back down a little bit. We'll play him out a little more here. Now I'm gonna net this one. Yep, just kept riding it out. Kept riding it out and finally got us another good one coming through. Come on over here, fish. Let's throw you in the net now. Let's swing you over here. I might give you a little front camera time. There you go. There he goes. Get him up in here, folks. Well, that's a fat one right there, too. Look at the belly on that thing. He's been eating good down there at the old shad buffet. I'll put that rod behind us here a second. Now, I hear you talking. Where's that hook? There it is. Little #1 size hook just popped right out. Easy to unhook. Let's get y'all up there. Whew. Get the snot off my nose. Get the hood off too for a picture a minute. I'm gonna put it back on as soon as I'm done. Yeah, look at the gut on that thing, man. He's got a big belly for his size. I know, fish. After the holidays, I do too. Eating all them cakes and stuff. It's been the holiday season. I've been chowing down. All right, get on out here, you old fish. I want to get that hood back on my head. We'll do that. We'll drop that bait down. We'll take a look at it here, see what it looks like. See what it's looking like here. Oh yeah, it's still got the innards and everything in there. So we're gonna reuse this thing. Get the hook back. He run the hook. Here, get that net out of the way. Get that. This now I can look at it. Yeah, there we go. Rehook it. It's going under the gill plates there. We're gonna go out that other nostril since that side got tore up. But I mean, it's still got all the good stuff right there on it. So we're just gonna send it back down. I swear I think it's gotten colder, y'all. Probably just cause that mist, that dampness, that mist. That's definitely increased since we've been out here. Just a dreary, kind of a dreary, nasty morning, but the fish don't care. They gotta eat no matter what the weather conditions are. So there's always fish biting somewhere, always. You don't believe me, go to a tournament. Somebody's gonna get skunked, somebody's gonna catch fish, and there's gonna be some people in between, but there's always fish eating somewhere. All right, let's put y'all back here in the chest. How long have we been out? We've been out here a pretty good while. I'm looking over there toward the channel. It don't look too bad over there. I mean, the wind's definitely blowing more out there than it is here for sure, but it ain't bad out there. I'm just hesitant. When the wind hits, you know how sometimes it is? It'll just like all of a sudden turn on, come out of nowhere. I don't want to overstay my welcome. I guess what I'm getting at. Because Mother Nature going to get a little angry today with that wind. I got other stuff I need to do this afternoon, though, so I couldn't spend a lot of time out here today anyway, but I wanted to finish up my box. I was telling you about that live scope box. One of the things I got to do, now I'm going to knock out today, is extend the cord from my motor to the box. That FPV company, it makes them or modifies them water snake motors. When they put that mod or control, what, PWM or PMW, the thing that allows you to control the speed of the motor, when they put that on there, they didn't leave much cord. There's not much cord running to the motor to that box. And then there's cord that goes from that box to the battery. Well, I want to put that little box inside that PWM controller box. I want to put it inside the battery box because I don't want it getting wet, especially when I'm fishing saltwater. But I don't want it getting wet even in freshwater either. You know, I just want to put it inside that box. Well, I ain't got much cord. If I set that thing up behind my camera mount, I've barely got enough cord from the motor to reach the box. So I'm going to extend that cord. That's one of them projects I'm going to knock out today. And then I'm going to work on the transducer mount. I've got to come up with something better than what I've done. Right now, I've put a little ram ball, as you can see up there. That's where I've been connecting a transducer. But I'm going to utilize this rod holder base and bring that transducer back toward me. And I'm trying to come up with a way where I can either fix it in a fixed position or be able to turn it with my hand. And there's a lot of transducer mounts that you can buy. I'd actually bought one for my Hobie Pro Angler when I first got the thing, but I don't really like it. But I'm going to DIY it because I don't want to spend a fortune on it for something I'm just not going to use very often. I mean, hell, I hadn't used that live scope in about a year. It's been sitting in my shed. So I want to use it, like right now when I'm going out and netting shad. It's nice to be able to go around and look for them schools of gizzard shad. But otherwise, I mean, I just ain't gonna use that much. So I don't want to spend $200 or $300 on a mount for something that I ain't gonna use all that much. But I gotta work on that today. And if we're being real and honest with each other, I'm probably gonna work on some Mario Kart today too. Just keeping it 100, as the kids say. Yeah. I ain't seeing much on the screen right there now. There's a little mark right there, but the bait's moved on again. They'll be back. Them poor shad, man, they get chased all the time. Something's always after them. If it ain't the birds, it's the fish. And all these fish eat shad. Catfish, bass, everything's eaten. It would suck to be a shad. Oh, and I don't even know, like, how many, oh. Well, we didn't see nothing on the graph. By gosh, it didn't matter, did it? Got another one. But I was wondering, like, and it's probably out there, I could probably research. I wonder how long shad live. Like, what's the lifespan of a shad? And how many shad make it to the end of their lifespan? Like, how many shad die of natural causes? Now, I know when it gets real cold, we'll have shad kills and stuff, but like, how many shad live out their full life cycle without getting eaten or killed by a shad kill? I'd be interested to know that. It's probably something I should know, but I don't. Do you know, Blue Cat? You eat them things all the time. Do you know how long they live? He don't know. He don't care. He said they live as long as they can until he catches them to eat. He said once he eats them, they gone. You thought you had you one then, didn't you? That one bit you back. That hook in it. All right, Blue Kitty. Go on out here. Go on. Don't splash me in no water on the way down either. My leader, actually, we've caught a bunch of fish. My leader still feels pretty good. I'm notorious about never changing my leaders or hooks. But with the light tackle stuff, I do, every trip I go and just, actually see that hook right there? I don't know if you probably can't see on camera, but it's bent a little bit, the hook point. But I've been about every trip just changing out my hooks and leaders and stuff, and trying to keep the hooks sharp in good condition and making sure the leaders are good. Because this light tackle, you get some abrasion on there, you're begging for it. You're begging to break a fish off. So about every trip I'm switching out. Here's what I think I'm gonna do though, folks. I'm cold, and the longer I stay out here, the more likely I am to have trouble trying to get back to the car if that wind really does kick up like they say it's going to. So I think I'm gonna reel this other line in and I'm gonna go to the house. So thank you for coming with me today. Appreciate you. If you stuck it out. If you stood it out, why can't I talk? Why the hell is my brain not working? If you've stayed with me all the way to this point at the end of the video, thanks. I appreciate you. I'm glad you like what we're doing here in this style and whatnot. Let's catch one more. Let's not. I'm gonna give it another second here and see if he comes back. We'll put our camera mount down. I'm gonna put my tools back over here. I got this little pouch here on the side. I put my tools that I'm gonna be using in the cup holder while I'm fishing. But for transport purposes, I stick them here in this little pouch with a zipper so I don't lose anything. We'll see if that fish comes back for it before I'm ready to go here. And then if he does, great. And if he don't, you got a few more seconds and I'm gonna reel that thing in. We're gonna go to the house. I'm cold. I've sat out here so long, I've got chilled. Gotten chilled, I wanna beat the wind. And get kind of hungry too, if I'm being honest. I need me a snack. I don't need no more cake. I've had too much cake over the holidays. I gotta work off a few pounds, as I'm sure some of y'all do too. All them women folk, boy, they like to make them cakes during the holidays. I've had about every kind of cake imaginable. All right, let's reel this up, and if there's any, I don't know if there's a bait. Yeah, there's still bait on there. He didn't get it. Look at that too, the innards. The innards there are still good on that thing. Well, they can have them a free one. We've stuck enough of them today. They've earned a free meal down there. And we didn't actually use that much bait. So I still got plenty of bait to take with me on the next couple trips. So anyway, y'all, thanks for sticking it out with me. Thanks for coming with me on this trip today. Y'all were some good luck for me, especially early on. But yeah, we'll do it again soon. I'll see you then.